Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 36 of SmiteTalk. My name is Octane Pro, and joining me, as always, I do have my co-host. I do have FG3000. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, man? Another beautiful day. This is probably the hypest Sunday in a long time, I must say. In the words of DM Brandon, this was my perfect Sunday. I sat in my chair all day and watched the games. Can't even be mad.
I know, for sure. I wanted to check here. Just want to make sure my microphone volume is high enough. My XSplit looks like it's acting a little goofy, so chat can tell me. The mic volume is a bit low. Okay, let me turn that up there. That might be better.
Oh, I'll talk louder.
That's right.
Just let me know.
We'll check. We'll check with chat. They'll be able to tell me if my mic has gotten louder here. It says it's on my Yeti microphone, so it should be good.
Excuse Octane, this is his first day. So we'll just kind of bear with him a little bit.
Oh my word. I'll smack you. All right, that should be better, guys. That should be better. I don't know why. That's kind of weird. All I did was move my mic around earlier, but all right, no big deal. Whatever. It is what it is. So anyways, jumping into it, if you guys are joining us for the Smite Talk show tonight, first time going ahead and checking it out. Smite Talk is a show that airs every week right here on Smite Game. It airs right about 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, it's a little bit earlier, and we are not, we don't have a Smite update show tonight, as you guys can tell. Reason being is just because of timing conflicts. Didn't work out too well. We kind of had some problems there, so we are going to go ahead and jump into Smite Talk instead. And then after Smite Talk, we're going to go ahead and do some viewer games with you guys. So myself and FG will be around to play, so that'll be a lot of fun. FG has to redeem himself after his wonderful performance today in Divine Intervention.
Whoa. I did spectacular.
Yeah?
Pretty good. Unfortunately, yeah, we never got out of the first round. But we'll talk about that whenever you're ready. Finish your intro. I'll sit back.
Yeah, for sure. Let me. I'm trying to see if I can boost my microphone a little bit more here. Oh, let's see. This might help. Let's see. Does that help? Oh, that looks like it might have helped there a little bit. Let me see if I can take care of that a little bit more, guys. I don't know what's going on. All I did was unplug it, which is kind of weird. Oh, well, whatever. Oh, my gosh, that's probably too much. Let me turn it down. You guys are probably like, whoa, too much.
Kylie said it. If we kill Kelly, we win. And we killed Kelly, so we won. We were done.
It's, oh, my word, I know. Okay, the mic should be better now. Let me know, guys, if it is not, or if it's too loud, and I can adjust it. So anyways, Smite Talk is a show that airs every week, and it's a talk show, just like you guys would see on the radio, where people talk about different subjects, but they take viewer calls. We will be taking viewer calls tonight, and we're also actually going to take community questions via ask.fm a little bit later on in the show. So if you guys can't go ahead and call in, we have so many options. You can, call in and talk to us. Bring up a subject, have a question for us, want to talk about Divine Intervention today. Those are some things that you can call in about. Or you can email the show, smitetalk@gmail.com, and we'll go ahead and read those emails at the end of the show, and we'll discuss them and talk about them. And then we'll do live questions at the end of the show. So it's a very casual show, just kind of laid back with myself and FG, and we just kind of hang out, talk about anything related to Smite, and take your calls and questions about it. So it should be a pretty good show today. I'll throw it over to you, FG, first. What have you been up to this week with in the video game world?
This week, I finally got my hands on a skin and a voice pack that I've been wanting ever since I saw it. I think we saw it maybe like a month in it. Maybe 2 months ago, we first saw a glimpse of Lunar Tango Chunga.
Oh, nice.
Let me tell you that this is the best VGS in the game.
Oh, my word.
If you want to make your team hate you, you want to make your team... You could be up 20,000 gold in a game, and if you're spamming VGS with Chunga, your team just might surrender.
Oh, my word.
Just might.
I don't know.
A smile on my face.
Okay, so I will have to admit, when I play Geb and you rock, it's like, woohoo! Woohoo!
Yeah.
I love that one. I spam that one ridiculously every time I get a kill steal.
Dirty support.
Oh, that's right.
Dirty
that's
support.
The way I play. What can I say?
But Lunar, having Chunga being able to talk finally is like the best thing ever. I don't even play Chunga. I started playing Chunga the second that skin came out. So I might bring her up to at least Legendary. I don't really care about Diamond. As long as I get Legendary, I have my little gold and black shiny card. That's all I need. I'm good.
Okay. So anything else you've been up to this week? Putting together any videos or anything like that?
Always. We never stop doing videos, Octane.
Oh,
Always. And then don't forget about Halloween. I dressed up as Nacho Libre, I'm gonna say
oh my
something,
goodness.
and I gotta preface myself because there's always people on the internet that say things. This is not racist.
Okay.
But I was a black guy.
What else?
Spoiler alert.
Wow, wow, really? Holy crap! FG3000 is black. Oh, like for any of our for any of our audio viewers, I am a white boy, and FG3000 is a black man. Okay, please continue. I just wanted to let's make sure our audio viewers knew, you know.
So I'm not gonna say it again, but I already said it. And I dressed up as Nacho Libre. So I was a black guy dressed up as a white guy who played a Hispanic guy. It was like the coolest thing ever. And I had my championship belt. Oh crap.
You got it? You gotta show us? Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not gonna put this on because it's hot.
Oh my word.
I had my Nacho Libre mask on.
That is awesome.
It was great. So I had a great Halloween and a great Smite time, man. It's good stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. That is that's awesome. Good for you, dude. Good for you. I did not go out for Halloween this year as I was home with my actually taking care of the trick-or-treaters at my house. My wife took out my son. Yes. So I stood at home and handed out candy, but
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a little different world instead of going out partying. Once you have like a child, it's a little different. But for me this week, I played a decent amount of Smite as I always do, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night with viewers. And then I've been getting like a ton of game codes from all different people in the scene to play and kind of give first impressions. So I've had a blast trying things other than Smite. I tried Miscreated, which is a game in alpha on Friday. I
saw you do that.
Yeah, and that was awesome. It was so cool to play a game that was so early in development, and it was a lot of fun. You know, I played with about 5 or 6 people, but all Smite players as well. Hey, subscriber in chat, thank you for subscribing to Smite Game. So
nice.
I played Miscreated, so it was a lot of fun, and played with like Raffer and a bunch of my viewers and stuff like that. So that was fun. And then yesterday I got a chance to play Evolve, and that game was crazy.
I saw you play that. Do you really like that game?
Oh my word, that was so much fun with a bunch of people. Like, okay, Evolve is the next. Like, have a few beers. Have a few beers with your friends and have a good time chasing after a monster.
I like it.
But outside of that, you know, had some fun with Smite this week as well. So it was a blast. I can't really complain, to be honest with you. And looking forward, we're going to be doing some viewer games after this. So if you guys want to play games with FG and myself, stick around. And after the show tonight, we'll go ahead and play some viewer games. So it should be good. So let's see. What else we got going on? Heads up. If you guys are interested in calling in, we do have actually Darkfire hanging out in the lounge here. But if you guys want to call in and talk to us live, ask us questions, talk about Smite, please feel free to go ahead and call in. Download Raidcall, raidcall.com. And then below my webcam right now, you can see there is a group ID, 746-1039. Just put that in. It's kind of like the chat room, the room, just like Mumble, TeamSpeak, stuff like that. And you'll be put in a lounge, and we'll touch base with you and get you in on the call, live right here on Smite Game. Also, guys, keep in mind that this show is available on iTunes if you guys are interested in just kind of getting your Smite fix in when you're at work, at the gym. Go ahead and look it up on iTunes, SmiteTalk, and subscribe to it. And you can enjoy the show on the go. So definitely check that out. Alrighty. If you guys would like to email us, we'll read your emails during the show today. We just actually got one from Billy here, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Hey, Billy.
I know. Email us, smitetalk@gmail.com, and we'll go ahead and read that here shortly. So let's go ahead and jump in on some of our topics here. So what is our first topic we're going to talk about today?
I think we talk about the elephant in the room, divine intervention, which is amazing. And I just want to throw my thoughts out there and kind of see what chat thinks about it and what you think about it. And
sure,
let's just talk about DI2. So if you're not familiar with what Divine Intervention 2 was, and I think a lot of people that are in the chat right now probably just watched about, 6 hours of?
Oh, my word.
Yeah, about 6 hours worth of tournament play. So Divine Intervention was a Child's Play charity tournament, which had a goal of $5,000 in the beginning. Let me just say it had a goal of $5,000, and I'm delaying. And I am trying to delay times a little bit so I can go to tiermonster.com and look at the the actual amount that it is right now.
$42,890 and 96 cents.
Insane. So not only did you get to play with some of your favorite Smite community members from like Hi-Rez Kelly, Bart, pros like Lasses, and YouTubers like Penguin, and Octane. You could play with Octane as well if you wanted to.
Whoa, don't throw me under the bus. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
And then you also got a chance to get some prizes too. There was awards, Lunar, Tango, Chang'e, of course, which is great. And I know you're upset about this, Octane. I know you're upset, but you could also get Poolside if you donated enough. So,
no, you know what? I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to say no comment.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing tournament, and the thing I like most about the Divine Intervention, because I sat in chat and I watched chat the entire day.
Okay.
I watched the tournament the entire day. It was a different vibe than SPL and Challengers Cup.
Correct.
Like it was a different crowd, and I think, you know, and nothing to take against the Tiermonster guys, I think we need something like this maybe once a season, like a winter, summer, spring, and a fall one, a pro-am, you know, tournament hosted on Smite Game with Hi-Rez employees, pros, and all that. I don't think it comes enough, and it scratches a different itch than people that watch, you know, Lasses and Dignitas destroy people in Cognitive Immortality. I think a lot of people really appreciated the fact that I know that guy. I play with him sometimes, or he's a bronze player just like me, and he's being able to, you know, go and play with Lasses and perform well. And so, you know, as much as I love Tiermonster's Divine Intervention, Part 3 is too far away. I think someone, not me, someone else needs to step up and make it 4 times a year at least. I think, you know, once a month is too much, and of course once a week is too much, but at least 4 times a year, I think it'll be a really, really good idea.
We got like Lord Wizkid in chat. He's like, "Don't tell Opie."
There so, like, has. I know
you know, like I could agree. I mean, those guys are probably like super exhausted right now from all that hard work.
Sure.
But at the same time, looking at it, I like the positive the positive feel that comes from it. I mean, not only are we doing something good like for Child's Play and for a charity, but can you imagine something like this like 4 or 5 times a year to the point where like, hey, the Smite scene raises like, can you imagine the Smite scene being that like scene that's like, hey, the Smite scene raises like $100,000 a year for Child's Play. Like, can you imagine that, like being that, awesome. You know, that community, you know, to be known as that community that does that type of stuff. I think that would be super cool. I think on top of that as well, you know, you kind of point out a lot of great things. The fun thing is too, like, it's interesting because as soon as yesterday, like mid-morning started, you start seeing the tweets going out for like who versus who and who's starting to talk trash.
And all the
and
trash
stuff like
talking.
Oh,
yeah,
and it's funny because it's trash talking, but in a fun, polite like way. Like, you know, there's no as much as trash talk. Like, it's funny. I saw Hindu Man post on Twitter, and he was like, "Disclaimer: I may talk trash today, but I still love this person regardless."
Yeah, and that's something that you can do in a tournament like this than you can't do in like SPL. You know what I mean? That would be just drama central if everybody from Dignitas is just trash talking Cog.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. But with us, we can do it. People know it's a joke. It gets everybody involved even more. So. I want to see more, man. I want to see more.
Yeah,
I'm spoiled now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blast, and the different people that come at us, like the team captains, like I love it. You know, a variety, as you said, a variety of different people. I like the presence of the pro players because a lot of people feel that a lot of these pro players are like, they're too far away, like they're out of touch. Like you can't, you know, exactly. and this definitely takes that aspect, even when you look at other esports too, and it takes that part where like, oh, he's a pro player, you know, I can't play with him, and going ahead and matching them up with people. So I think that's great. Same thing with like Hi-Rez employees. A large majority of a lot of the individuals from Hi-Rez Studios that are you know, very well known because they're on stream a ton. I mean, just, you know, people like Brad, APC, Peckies, Josh, you know, Mamacita, Pon, Adonis. Like, it's really cool. Kelly, a lot of these people give their time to do this, which I think is even cooler. And it's a lot of fun too. Like, I talking about like trash talk, I will call out Smitten here. So you know how, okay, so if you guys aren't familiar, with Divine Intervention, you go ahead and they have Mumble set up. And then everybody jumps into Mumble, and then I already had like a channel set up in there for my team. FG had one for him. You know, Hindu Man had one for him. Same thing with Smitten. So I jump in, get into my channel, and I'm like hanging out, talking with my team. All of a sudden I hear it, like Mumble comes up, and it's like, Smitten has joined your channel. And then I hear like the "We Will Rock You"
We
song
will
start
rock
playing.
you.
Yeah, and she's like, so like all morning she's like dropping in that channel, like playing music, like to intimidate, whatever. But like, so I had to drop into Smitten's channel and play MC Hammer Can't Touch This, and I thought that was very appropriate.
And then you lost though.
I know.
You lost, though.
So I will admit, I lost to Smitten for the second year in a row. It sucked, but her team did very well. Like, they did very well.
It's tradition now. It's
It's
really tradition.
right? That's right.
And if I can give a little bit of feedback to Lord WizKid, I think we need to make note of these type of little rivalries, and then
That's why they did it again. That's why they did it again this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Right,
like
so
two weeks back,
perfect.
Smitten and I were talking about Divine Intervention, and I was like, I really hope I play you again. And she's like, me too. And then we go ahead and look at the brackets Friday night, and it's me versus Smitten. Like,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we should definitely do stuff like that. Just kind of like, pit people against each other. I think like Kelly versus Bart would have been a really fun one. Of course, like Lydia versus Smitten versus who's the loudest female gamer in the Smite community. I mean, all kinds of different like little. Maybe if Zapman joins next year, maybe he'll put him against another hunter or something like that.
Yeah, like a Zapman Barracuda
F-Dot versus Hindu, stuff like that. I think would be a lot of fun also. And then maybe Dry Bear will stop traveling just for a couple of days and have Mamacita and Dry Bear going against each other. So I think some manual picking and some hand picking of some of the teams would be really, really awesome.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. I mean, yeah, so, we were kind of giving our feedback. So tell me about who you played Divine Intervention. If you guys weren't familiar, Divine Intervention was yesterday and today, 2 different days, 2 different tournaments. So who'd you play against, and how did your games go?
So yesterday I played against Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly defeated us. We came out super strong.
Really? Okay.
Kwanton was on my team.
Who'd you play?
Kylie's on my team. I played Nija solo.
Oh.
You already knew. You already knew what I was going to do.
Why am I not surprised?
I already knew. I kind of regret I should have went mid Nija just so I could pick on Kelly a little bit, but I digress. I was in the solo lane. I don't want to brag. I was like 14-5 or something like that. Something crazy. But unfortunately, late game they had Athena and they had Mercury, and Mercury. You have to ban Mercury because this Mercury was good, but even a bad Mercury, if a Mercury is 0-10 at the 25-minute mark, he can still backdoor your towers and lose the game, or win the game for them and lose the game for you. So
the attack speed's unbelievable.
Just way too good. But of course, Nija yesterday, and I played Chunga today in solo as well. But we lost first round each time. No big deal. I got to eat lunch and watch Smite instead of playing. It was exactly what I wanted to do.
Okay. I like it. Well, good for you. Yeah, I'm trying to think. For me, so yesterday I played against Smitten first. And that was a ton of fun. Always. Smitten being on Smite Update, and she's been around the scene for a long time, so her and I get along very well. And usually, I'm a support Guardian player. And, of course, I'm that nice guy where, like, yesterday I'm talking as a team, and we're discussing, like, who's going to play what roles. And, like, nobody was coming up in the ADC role. And so I was like, okay. I'll do ADC. And I was like, because nobody, you know what I mean, as me being, like, the team captain, I was like, sure, I'll fill it. I'll fill it. I'm like, sure. I do a pretty decent on her type of deal. Dude, yesterday, oh my word. So Smitten laned against me as well. And
Smitten is like premier. She only plays ADC. Like that's her thing. Why would you do such a thing?
She played Apollo, and somehow she ended up getting Athena as well. So the combination of the Apollo aggression with Athena's ultimate coming in with the taunt was just unbelievable. Her team stomped not only my lane, but also the rest of. And I was on her, and the support of my team picked Sylvanas, and it just didn't work out very well together. So that was a shame. Kind of
mistake.
Kind of lost quite early, but was still a lot of fun. And then today, I went up against Katixia first, and I was like, I am playing support. So I played Athena, which worked out well. So we actually had Athena Apollo today. And that worked out super well. We actually had the chance to get Thor, and looking back at it, and I really don't know why we didn't, because having Thor, Apollo, and Athena would have been amazing global presence.
Oh yeah, death from above.
It would have been disgusting. I forget what we did for jungle. Oh, we did Loki for jungle for some reason in that setup. But either way, it was a ton of fun. And we played Katixia's team. We did very well against them. And that was a blast. Like, our team was like, oh, that was great. Like, first game, getting our feels, we did very well. And then we
Yeah,
get
went like 30-1, didn't you?
it was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
It was like
I felt really good after that.
Don't be modest, Octane. Y'all did really well in that round.
We did very well. I know the player, our synergy was really good. Our callouts were really good. So it was a great first game. Second game though, we played against Funballer's team, and oh my word, Funballer went as Freya, and he had another exposed secrets members on his team. I think it's Lloydie. Was Thor, and literally they were like a 2-man army. Like anytime that someone got ganked, both of them were on top of that person. It was disgusting.
Rude.
So the feeling, it was a complete 180 from when I played Katixia versus when I played Funballer's team, because he just rocked me. But it was still a lot of fun, and I had a blast. Yeah, so it was a good time. So apparently Open from Tiermonster is in our raid call here, so I might pull him in actually to talk about Divine Intervention a little bit. I'm just checking to make sure. I love it. I'm checking. All right, I'm checking. Let's see. Let's pull him in here. Well, actually, any last comments that you have about Divine Intervention right now?
Divine Intervention was awesome, and I want to echo what everyone else is saying in the chat. It'd be cool to have some of those rivalries that I was talking about before, or a complete streamer versus Hi-Rez YouTube community member type deal, where it's like, me, you, F.Hindu versus, blah, 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 blah. That would be awesome as well. Yeah. So you kind of mess around with it. I think a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people don't, they don't really gravitate towards pros all the time. And not saying it's good or bad. It's just some people, see a pro like Kobe Bryant and they're like, but then they see like a college player or a high school player and they get really excited because they just kind of feel a little bit closer. So hopefully we see more of this. Like I said, I'm not gonna run it. I'm kind of too lazy for that kind of stuff. Yeah. So hopefully someone else kind of picks it up and get some support from Hi-Rez, and we have this more often than just once a year.
And you know what? It doesn't even have to be like Divine Intervention. Like other organizations or groups in the scene.
Yeah. Great Smite community. This is your spot right here. Smite community here.
I think Divine Intervention has definitely set the bar. But I think other scenes, or I'm sorry, other websites, stuff like that could really do this as well, and do a really good job. So I think that would be a good idea. So let's go ahead and bring him in here. Let's see.
Who are we bringing in?
What's going on? Hello. Are you there? Opon, you there?
Ah, Opon the Great. He doesn't know how to use his microphone.
I know. It's either free talk or F2 as your push to talk. Let's see if he figures it out. Maybe. He said he was good. I don't have it. There you go. You there?
As long as he figures out where to send my T-shirt.
Yeah, right. Every time I see him hitting his mic button, but it like disappears. He's like hitting his mic button and then nothing happens. So go into the settings bottom right and do some testing. Make sure you set your microphone and then shoot me a message when you got it all fixed, and we'll pull you back in here. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think Divine Intervention was a blast today. I think everybody had a good time. I don't think the only thing I can recommend, and what bothered me a little bit with it was just how, like, even in the finals, like the way the teams are distributed, is it completely random? Do people sign up and then get to pick the team that they're on? I think a lot of these questions are things to bring up. My understanding was, top donators got an opportunity to pick the team they were on, but I'm not really sure all like the specifics there. But I think with the way the teams were lined up, if they don't do a draft system of some kind, I feel like, as you had talked about, something similar to like Code Green, where it finds out like Divine Intervention, or I'm sorry, Tiermonster determines like what rank you are, I guess, with what like league you're in, and then distributes it appropriately. And so like the teams are balanced with a gold player, with a platinum player, you know what I mean? Like kind of gets it all set up so that like on my team I would have had like one masters player, one platinum player, one gold, one bronze, whatever, or silver or whatever, and set it up so that there's all different skill levels, so that the matches are a little bit closer together. I think would have been a little bit more fun. I mean, like, the finals was a lot, with Pon there, and Penguin.
Pon put the world on his shoulders.
I know, and he did really well. But a lot of the other games like weren't super close. Like the game that I played against like Katixia wasn't super close, and it kind of was like, it would have been a lot more fun if our game was a lot closer together. So let me Let me shoot him a message real quick.
Matchmaking. Are you complaining about matchmaking, Octane?
Oh, we can talk about matchmaking later. That's something definitely to talk about. That's
Oh
right.
man.
It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Matchmaking's never works.
Everyone's
right?
always talking about matchmaking.
Oh, so first. So let me see. We'll see if he has it fixed. In the meantime, let's bring in Darkfire and see what he wants to talk about today.
Yo.
Darkfire, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
All right, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. So what would you like to talk
Fantastic.
about?
Well, really, my question was about Nox. You know,
Okay.
you guys have had a couple days of playing with her and experimenting with her, and what are your guys' thoughts on her?
Okay. Well, that's actually one of our topics, so we definitely should go ahead and dive into it. I'll throw it over to
I
you.
guess this will be like a semi
I know.
segue.
Nice transition. So FG, thoughts on Nox so far? She's been out for just over a week now. You know, where do you see her at? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna post a link in chat real quick.
Okay. What is your link to? Oh, what is this here?
That's a link to my Twitter post. This is the stats of Nox right now. Nox has played. She has 43,000 losses and 25,000 wins.
Oh, what site is that?
That is
from?
a 36.72% win rate. There's, you know, I think this is not on specifically Tiermonster, but there's a couple of them all over the place.
Okay.
But this is Nox's current win rate right now. Now, a couple of days ago, there was someone in the chat. I wish he was here, but he was arguing that people just didn't know how to use Nox yet. Like you don't understand Nox. One game I went 10-1 with Nox, and I would argue that you just stole 10 kills if you got 10 kills with Nox.
Yeah, I agree.
But she is in a really, really bad spot. I think they took anti-mage a little too far, realizing that there are more gods in the game besides mages, and putting her into the position where she's going to be played mid a lot, not giving her escape and not giving her any damage is just like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I mean,
go
ahead.
Go for it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I can agree with you there. When I feel like when they were designing her, they were looking at somebody very similar to like Afro to fall into that like utility-based god that would work. You know, that have worked really well. I feel like Afro and Nox though are on like completely different sides.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes it very difficult. I mean, Nox, yes, she does a little bit of damage and such, but like, you know, her whole kit is built around this whole mechanic of countering another god and stuff like that. And I just don't see it enough. With the way that at least Conquest goes, I don't see her, you know, being utilized a ton. Whereas somebody like Aphrodite, oh my word, like dual lane is an opportunity, solo lane Aphrodite, like, but I don't see Nox filling any of those roles either. So
yeah,
it makes it quite difficult. Kabrakan kind of was like similar, and they got a huge overhaul, and now it's just disgusting. So I'm interested.
Well, you give any god 2 stuns, and they're going to be really good. So Kabrakan's a little bit different.
With Nox, I'm eager to see what they do with her, to be honest. I'm not sure what direction they'll go and where they'll put the emphasis on. I mean, FG, do you think that with Nox, we need to see emphasis more on damage or more on the counterability with her?
I think damage is going to be a band-aid, but it's not going to be enough. They need to change something integral to how her abilities work. And on Reddit, there's a ton of ideas on how to make her ultimate work better.
Yeah.
But I think if she's going to be a mid lane mage, she's going to need some way to get away. And I don't think I want her to have like a speed boost or a teleport or anything like that. But I want to see her just change completely. I would rather see it be a duration-based shield. So I'm just going to throw fake numbers out there, so just bear with me.
Yeah.
Instead of being a reactionary shield to kind of like counter a searing pain, I would like to see her shield turn into like a 5-second shield, for example, that has damage mitigation. And let's say, and stick with me for a second, I'm just kind of bringing stuff out of the sky. So she pops her shield, Mercury starts punching her. As Mercury punches her, the shield goes away. So let's say it has 100 damage mitigation. Once that 100 damage is gone, Mercury gets blinded the exact same way as Xbalanque does. Like he gets blinded and is just done. Yeah. And that's something, and anybody that's around while that shield blows up gets darkness, and that's like a small little radius, something that's reasonable. But so if there's 2 people that are ganging up or in mid lane, her shield pops, they both get blinded. I think that's a way to help her get away from fights, because right now with no disengage, no speed, no teleport, no nothing, she's always going to be a liability, and she's going to be regulated to just trash status. Like, so everybody keep on giving your suggestions about how to change her ult. I don't really have any ideas about her ults per se.
I do.
But I think her one needs to, oh, go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
So Nox is the goddess of night.
Wait. Before you say that, I forgot we have a caller, so we might
I
want to ask
know.
them as well.
Darkfire, what are your thoughts on Nox before I go into it?
Really, my thing was it seems like her damage was really low compared to any of the other gods, and that's where I was really struggling with her. Again, we really haven't had a whole lot of time of figuring out exactly how to play her correctly. But she's no escape, hardly any damage. I mean, I understand the 2-3 combo, but
the 2-3 combo is weaker than Ra's.
Right.
Like, so I have to do this. I have to hit both abilities to do as much damage as Ra's easy to hit little lion nuke. Like what?
So when I look at Nox right now, okay, Smite Hi-Rez tries to go ahead and base their gods very much around like the mythology and stuff like that, and so she's the goddess of the night. Do you think that fits her kit at all right now?
I don't feel very nighty when I play Nox.
Exactly. What I would like to
when
see...
I play Agni, I feel like I have fire in my hand. I don't feel that way when I play Nox.
So here's my thoughts, and people might be like, oh, this is terrible. Her ultimate could do something in the same regards as something like Xbalanque does, but it's not a global ultimate. It only affects a certain radius around her. So, for example, she could pop an ultimate. Let's say it has, a little bit larger than a Geb ultimate size, and the individuals in there have like a black shroud that goes over top of them, so they can't see. Not exactly similar to Xbalanque, but similar. That causes like this night, where the other person can only maybe see outlines or can barely see an outline of someone. So it actually has that night effect where she literally turns that lane into night or something like that. Something that would go around that whole Nox, with Goddess of the Night. I feel like they could do a lot better with that. And with the direction that Hi-Rez has been going with such like, their gods have been improving so well and getting like bigger and bigger when it comes to that badass category. I feel like they could do better with the ultimate. Because right now her ultimate to me is not super exciting. I don't know. I feel like I understand the ultimate is not everything about her kit, but I feel like her ultimate definitely could use a complete rework in regards to making it something spectacular.
Yeah, I totally agree. That ult is really underwhelming. Even when you hit someone with it, it doesn't change the course of a fight.
Yep.
If you have an ultimate, it's supposed to change the course of a fight. And unless you ult a Hebo that is just spamming his buttons, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're literally not doing anything.
That was one of my main things. With the Wizard ult, any other god, using ult, you're changing the fight, you're killing somebody with it, and her ult just kind of was like look at how pretty.
Like, here it is. Oh, you're gonna walk away from me? Oh, okay.
Right.
See ya. Or you don't even care. You just pop your backflip anyway, or you just pop your ults anyway. You don't even like. I'm not scared of your damage regardless because you're probably feeding, not because you're a bad player, because you're playing Nox, so you probably don't have any damage anyway. So I'm just gonna hit my abilities anyway, and I have no recourse. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So
she's in a bad spot.
I mean, most likely
this is something that
this
is something I said last week. Okay. Sorry, Octane.
No, go for it.
I'll cut myself off quick.
Go for it.
Before Nox came out, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dark and Octane, before Nox came out, if you would have been on this call right now and asked who the worst god in the game was, I would guarantee you there would not have been a clear answer. There just wouldn't have been a clear answer.
Right, I agree.
But now it's Nox. It's Nox.
You sure it's not Anubis? Are you sure?
I'm dead sure.
No, I agree. I just don't know that she has a place right now, especially within the current meta. So I can agree with you there. I know for a fact that like Hi-Rez likes to wait like a month and get all their data together before they move forward. And I was skeptical about Kabrakan, and they made the changes to him, and then I played against him after the change and got my butt whooped.
He's a beast now.
Oh my word, the stuns. Take him and Apollo, put them together in one lane, and the amount of stuns that they have is unbelievable. So maybe we'll see some adjustments.
Chuck's so good.
And maybe we'll
so good.
Maybe we'll see some adjustments to Nox here within the next few weeks. Maybe we won't. We'll definitely have to see. Darkfire, anything else you want to talk about today?
No, that was all I had for you guys.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
With you.
You have a good night, sir.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Alrighty, let's see here.
She is a snappy dresser, however. She's definitely a snappy dresser.
Snappy dresser.
Her voice pack is very good. I want to say some good things about her.
All right.
I like the fact that she uses an unconventional weapon. Not a sword or like a spear. She's using a freaking candle thingy.
Surprisingly enough, she dresses a little more conservatively compared to the other female gods in the game.
Until you press your taunt.
Oh yeah. All right, let's bring him in. Hello, what's up, man? Are you working?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, you got it fixed. Did Whizbang come in and help you?
Well, I had just had my mic set on the wrong thing.
Oh, okay, cool. So we were
Opan in the house.
I know. So we were talking about divine intervention. So give us your thoughts. How'd everything go for you guys?
It went pretty amazing. We were so pleased at the way everything turned out. I mean, we had some issues with. I think we had some issues with the time change last night
Yeah.
with the European players because I was watching Mumble and saw a bunch of people show up at like 2 o'clock.
Oh, jeez.
Womp womp.
So I guess that's something. Consider next year to not have it around this weekend, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is it took almost 3 months for us to get a solid date from Hi-Rez to hold the event because everything with the lands and there was the TSM challenge and all that stuff that was going on. So this is the one weekend, and it was originally supposed to be 1 day, but then they came back to us and they're like, "Can you do 2 days? Because we don't have anything for Sunday."
Okay.
I love the two-day thing.
Yeah.
I guess just to get more people, it doesn't really mesh together as far as I thought. When I first thought about it, I thought the best person on Saturday versus the best person on Sunday, but that wouldn't make sense because most people couldn't play both days. So I guess you guys just did both days just to get as many people playing as possible, which was a really good idea.
Have you guys considered in the future having different game modes as part of the?
Whoa.
And what I mean by that is like on the second day it's a different game mode than the first day. So like first day might be Conquest, second day is Arena, because I know there's a lot of casual players that don't play Conquest. Like I had a player on my team today, and she's like, I don't play Conquest. So we were teaching her, some of the she played mid, she played Arcilla, she did very well, but like I don't know what your thoughts were on changing that game mode up. I know Conquest is the most attractive in a competitive aspect when it comes down to the pro scene, but outside of that, I know a lot of casual players aren't gun-ho about Conquest. Has that ever come up?
It was one of the things that we considered. We wanted to stick with Conquest for this year because, again, like I said, the original idea was that it was just going to be 1 day.
Okay.
But one of the things that we talked about was doing like a potluck type of day where the game mode would be like randomly selected.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That's awesome. That'd be cool.
That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, I would like that because then one game you could play and go Arena, and the next one you could do is like, Siege or something like that. That'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun. That's a good idea. I like whoever was thinking about that one.
We were calling it it's the Iron Chef tournament.
Nice.
I like it. So we were talking about kind of the matchmaking of Divine Intervention. How exactly was that determined?
Basically, the way it was set up is that the top donors for everybody had a chance to pick a first and second preference when they donated.
Okay.
When they claimed their icons and stuff.
Okay.
And the 2 top donors on each day got put on the person's team automatically.
Okay. So they got to choose, and then outside of that, it was possibly then randomized, I guess, from that point on. Is that how that works?
Yeah, so basically it was the top 64 donors on each day, and then the second 64 set was just an RNG.
Okay. And you guys have worked that in the past. Do you feel that's I mean, I understand that's probably the easiest. Do you find that works the best, or because like I was commenting to like FG, I feel like he had said that you guys for Code Green go ahead and like determine your rank per se, and then go ahead and assign you based on that, so the teams are a little bit closer. Would that not work in this situation?
Like the Valhalla rankings and all that good stuff. Didn't y'all have isn't that how you guys set up Code Green?
Yeah, the way we do Code Green is that it's based off of a combination of your Smite ELO and an internal ranking system.
Okay.
And what we do is for each team, since each team is 5 individual players, that's decided, is we rank each of the players 1 through 5. And then each team gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that we have like 1 high player and 1 low player, and then everybody else is kind of in the middle.
Okay.
And we could actually use that kind of system for Divine Intervention. The pro player kind of throws it off.
Yeah, correct. I feel like you'd almost have to. Yeah, I guess pro player would have to. I mean, I guess you'd almost have to take the captains, and they would be an exception to that entire matchmaking. Like, just make them null or something that would allow them to not be included in it. Granted, you know, myself or FG would be on different levels than someone like Lassus.
Yes, we would.
I mean, I understand how I understand how it all works out, and it makes sense. And it was a lot of fun. It worked out. I was just commenting like to FG, like it's a shame when you have to go against someone and get beat ridiculously, and then the next game you go against someone and you're like, what? Like, how are they even on the same team? And then so that's why, like, I feel like if the teams were in some way a matchmaking system was set up that would allow them to be closer, it would be a lot more fun when it comes down to closer competition. But at the same time, I guess the way it's set up now does help the tournament flow a little bit faster, because if it was such close competition, it would probably be drawn out even longer than
we'd still be
today.
playing right now.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
So, what is the biggest struggle, I guess, with doing a tournament this size within the scene?
The biggest struggle and the biggest fear is just having everybody show up.
Everyone show up, yeah. That would have been kind of insane.
And I assume I mean, it always seems like you guys always have an overabundance of people, like tons of subs waiting. Is that normally the case?
We find it pretty easy to find subs. I mean, we have a lot of dedicated people that come to all the Code Green events, and they're always hanging out and doing Tiermonster stuff. And like today, and a good example of that is Ninja Sniper. He's at like every one of our events, and he just happened to be on the Mumble when we needed somebody from Penguin and Death's team.
Oh, okay.
So he just kind of lucked out. It's like, hey, we're gonna put you on this team, and voila, they won.
G to the G.
I know, that was so impressive. That was super impressive. They did really, really good. And I think Penguin of Death surprised everyone as to how well he played. Like DM Brandon was saying, like, I did not realize that Penguin of Death was this good at Smite. Which is an insult, but also at the same time
talking trash about YouTubers.
I know.
We play Smite too, DM Brandon.
But he did play super, super well. Well, that's pretty cool. So were you guys astounded by the prize pool that you guys were able to put together? Or not prize pool, I'm sorry, but the charity amount that you guys were able to put together this time?
Yeah, we were completely not expecting it. The
5K was the original estimation. Wow. I
mean, we had last year.
We're firing whoever your account
was. Last year like 15 or something like that you guys got?
Last year we raised 7 for the American Red Cross when it was all said and done. And we were, and we want to raise expectations, so we said, okay, let's do 5, and hope that we get it this year. But then Rory, Dry Bear, and the Hi-Rez Stew really came through, and they're like, well, here, let's give you Lunar Chang'e skins and Poolside, and all of a sudden it's like we did 14,000 in a day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that really fed it, was that kind of incentive and that partnership with Hi-Rez. I mean, it's very cool that they were able to do that, to be able to offer that in the way that they did. As I said before, I understand it went to charity and it's really good for the Poolside and skin, but at the same time, it's like, don't put out an exclusive skin and say it's never going to be offered again, and then offer it a few months later to help raise a charity. I understand it's good, and I'm not a horrible person, I promise. Now, granted, the other skin I really like. Like, it was really cool that they actually did that with the Chang'e skin just coming out. Like, that was sweet. That worked out well. I mean, I could tell that really boosted things moving forward. So that's pretty sweet that they were able to give that to you guys. How many contributors were there? Like, do you have a number off the top of your head? Like, we had X amount of people that donated?
Right around 1,500, like 1,550, something like that.
That's huge. That is awesome. So, like, 1,500 people ended up, like, donating 52K or 42K. That's disgusting. That is disgusting.
It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
There was a lot of people that got Poolside. Another thing, just to answer an earlier question about issues with kind of putting this event together.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of people that don't read instructions.
What, like the email? Okay, like the email that you sent out, the captain's email?
Well, not even the captain's email was fine. Okay. It's just on the minor intervention page. It's like unfortunately we have to, because we don't want to. We decided that when we were doing these events, we don't want to touch the money. We don't want people to feel that they're giving a bunch of dudes that they don't know any money,
sure,
and then hoping that we give it to Child's Play.
yeah,
So we've always worked with websites and organizations where they have tools where you can donate directly to them.
like Child's Play. Yep.
Yeah, like Child's Play. So we had to actually use the Child's Play has a donation widget, which is what we were using to handle donations on the website.
Okay.
But there's no way to link the person's information in it. Basically, it's a box that says how much you want to donate and a comment box. So we asked on the instructions that people would put their email address and the comment and their IGN in the comments so that we know who they are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something like that. I feel like looking towards next year. Maybe you could touch base with Divine Intervention, or I'm sorry, with Child's Play, and see if they can build, like, just put together a custom widget for you.
Like a custom.
And then just have those fields in there, and then that info can come from them after the event to you in a form of like a spreadsheet report that kind of has that info.
Yeah, they actually do kind of have that functionality, but the problem is that you have to create an account on their website, and kind of feeling like people want to do the least amount for the most.
Oh, sure. No, what I
It's
mean by
like,
that is like creating a custom widget for just this event after maybe they'll do that after what they saw today and yesterday. They'll be like, wow, like, 42K. I think we can spend a few minutes and just build a separate widget to be used only for Divine Intervention when needed. So maybe, maybe it's an opportunity for sure. So cool. So what are the chances we see this multiple times a year now?
Yeah.
I think I've aged like 10 years in the last week.
Oh man, maybe not even like on the grand scale. Maybe something that's a little bit smaller. Maybe not even connected to charity. Maybe you have a couple of like small ones and then one big one that's charity. I don't know. Well, what do you think? This is your time, not mine. It's actually something
that we've been considering. One of the biggest things to take into account is that people get charitied out. There's always you always have to time your events, appropriately around that kind of thing. Doing it at this time of year is always good because it's Christmas time.
Yep.
And we were lucky enough that Hi-Rez did their charity event in like August or like July. So we're almost 6 months past when they were doing the Red Cross. So we're really the only big. I mean, other than there was a guy yesterday who's running. I think he's still running a stream for testicular cancer, which people should check out.
Where is that one so I can link that in chat? Yeah, I saw that and I was kind of that exact feeling that you kind of said, like, good for the guy for doing it, a guy individually doing it, but at the same time I was like, oh, like, to follow up like Divine Intervention with another charity, like, do it like any other weekend, you know what I mean? Like, try to do it any other weekend if you could, would work out really, really well. But yeah, I can see that. I can see that perspective. So you don't want to overdo it. So that makes sense for sure. I'll have to try to, if somebody finds that link, post it in chat. One of the mods can find that link for the guy that's currently raising money for testicular cancer. We could post that in Smite game chat as well. Well, very cool. So can people still go out and donate, or no? Is it kind of like closed, done, good to go?
Donations are open till the 8th of November, and on the 9th we're actually giving away the raffle items this year, which were graciously donated by SteelSeries.
Ooh,
which is going to be it's a 2 Prism Raw headsets, a Sims 4 headset, a Navi gaming mouse, and 2 World of Warcraft QCK gaming mouse pads.
Oh, nice! Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And those are going to be available to anybody that donated,
including you, Octane.
Woo! I'm excited. I'm excited. There we go. Somebody said my mouse or my mic all of a sudden got quiet again. Is it quiet to you guys or no? No, it should be good. Okay, maybe it's good. Okay, so anyways, man, well, thanks for coming on today. Any other info you can give us about things coming up with Tiermonster that you want people to know about, or are you going to go to bed now and sleep for the next week?
Actually, we do have something coming up in the near future. We're going to be launching a new site.
Oh, that's exciting.
It's going to be, we're actually shifting our focus a little bit because of the availability of some new things on the API, which we didn't have access to when we first started.
Okay, that's great.
We're going to be launching a website called SmiteTalk, which is going to be a real-time updating website that's going to basically track your statistics like as you're playing.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's kind of going to, that's interesting. So you can, okay, that kind of reminds me of like some of like like when I used to be in StarCraft 2, some of the site, there were programs out there that you could install on your computer that would gather like live data so that you could go back and reflect on it afterwards to kind of see like where you're falling off and stuff like that, or, you know, where you're failing at. And I guess that it kind of reminds me of that, to be honest with you, where you could load it up and, you know, have it off on another screen in real time. Is that kind of the same premise?
It's going to be almost real time because the match data for us is not available until the match is complete.
Yes,
so
correct,
we have to wait until the match is finished, but we have
Yep.
your match IDs when you start. So basically, we're going to have like information like, you know, my overall KDA is like 2.4. My KDA today is 2.2.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not doing as good as normal today. Blah 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 blah. So there's going to be a lot of information that way. Basically, where the focus is going to be is that Tiermonster.com is going to be our deep dive analytics site.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look to see how I was doing on Apollo 3 months ago.
Oh, okay. That's pretty sweet. I mean, yeah, that's really nice. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to think like I guess the downside is now it'd be nice if you can link some of that stuff back to replays, but the replay systems, does the replay system still wipe after every new patch comes out? You can't go back and watch your replays. Is that still the case?
Yes, that's still the case.
Okay. So you are limited to that. Okay, that makes sense because that would be super cool to be able to integrate something like the replays and stuff like that into it. So, oh, that's cool. That's super exciting. You said that'll be down the road here?
Probably the next couple weeks.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'll be
Definitely
cool.
before Christmas.
Awesome. That'll be something to look forward to. Well, man, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to go ahead and promote before we move on?
Nope, I think that's good. Thank you again for playing, guys, today, and thanks for supporting Tiermonster.com, and keep on smiting.
You are welcome. Thanks for
You're the
everything that
man.
you're doing. Have a good night. Alrighty. Divine Intervention. So much fun. Okay, cool. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on. We did talk about Nox a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring in another caller here. Modern Saint, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, man. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for
Yo,
waiting.
yo.
We know you kind of were waiting around for quite a bit there. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Just chilling, mainly enjoying the conversations. But I do want to say about the internationals, so the Australian servers and such.
Yeah, they just officially opened up this past week.
Took
Yeah.
World of Warcraft 10 years to have Aussie servers. Smite, less than what, 8 months? I'm not counting beta, I'm counting live.
So, so what do you want to talk about with the Oceanic servers?
Well, are you guys as excited as I am as a new player base? So that's what we've got the East, we've got Australia, we've got NA, we've got EU. We're taking over.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny because people like I read this the other day. People complained for the longest time that they wanted Oceanic servers, so they added them in, and then people complained that the matchmaking was taking longer than normal, and I would be like, "Oh my God, you can't win! You can't win with you people." Well, you have to wait for the server. Like, the server's not as populated. No, I mean, I think it's a great thing. I'm super excited about it. And it's kind of cool. I guess this one is, I mean, these servers are owned and operated by Hi-Rez compared to like Tencent, which is with some of the other servers that'll be coming out here in the future. So I think it's super exciting. Really happy about it. It was interesting because we had Hi-Rez Nabil in the Smite update chat quite some time back, and he had commented, and he had pretty much said, I think we were talking about West Coast servers at that time in North America, and he had commented and just said, you know, we will add servers and add depending on the need that we see. So that was pretty cool for him to say something like that, and then all of a sudden we have the Oceanic servers popping up, which is pretty neat. Now, where are you located? Are you in an area that you would play on these servers or no?
No, I did hop on and try them out, but I'm actually EU.
Oh, okay.
So needless to say, I'm the one moaning mostly about the servers.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, it's all good. But it's nice to see them implementing that. Do you think it was the right timing, considering the queue system overhaul and such as well?
It was probably rocky timing, but I think they wanted to coincide with PAX down there, which would be, you know, a nice little boost in numbers.
Yeah.
They kind of had to take the shot right now, and there's a lot of like I said, World of Warcraft just launch Australian servers as well. So there's kind of like a little media push as well. A lot of times they're just overlooked. There's still games to this day that have been out for years that have no Oceanic servers whatsoever, years and years and years old. So I think League of Legends just came out with theirs maybe less than a year ago, maybe. So
yeah, from what I heard,
we're really ahead of the pack. Really ahead of the pack.
So where do you think we'll be next, though? Any ideas here, Modern or FG? Like where you guys see the need for another server?
Tencent's gonna keep on expanding in Asia. You already know.
Yeah, I do.
For
I mean,
sure.
I mean, I bet they'll. I mean, I know. When does it? I wonder when the game launches in the Chinese market, because like it's in beta still over there or something like that. I wonder when it actually launches, and then when that occurs, if they'll launch more servers. I'm just trying to think. What other needs we have. I mean, in this past year we had Latin America, with Level Up. Then we also now have the Oceanic servers. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else, like, there's two big ones in this past year, but if there's anywhere else where we hear a need from the players. I mean, if anything right now, I just feel like the overhaul needs to come to the EU servers, because, I mean, being in the team manager Mortality, I constantly hear about the server ping over there. I mean, it's funny because the server issues in EU that I've heard about, and then, like, the other night I was playing with Fexus, and Fexus is like, oh, yeah, I have 120 ping. I actually play better on NA. I was like, oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? So, yeah, I guess that's where, like, the next stop is really EU servers. It's just, correcting them or fixing the problem.
Yeah, it's more a case of fixing than anything else.
Okay.
But they've been here, there, and everywhere. And in fairness to Hi-Rez, like, they're always contacting Reddit and such. And like nearly all of the pro teams say like they're doing what they can. So if everybody's noticing that Hi-Rez are actually paying attention, then they're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, you make a fantastic point. A lot of other games are experiencing EU server issues as well. So it's, it's not really a Hi-Rez thing. It's kind of like the server farm, whoever they're licensing, whoever the third party is.
Yeah.
In multiple spots is having issues. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that gets worked out sooner than later.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. Anything else you want to talk about today?
No, I'm good, man. Enjoy the show. I shall.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Later.
Alrighty, let's go ahead. We will bring in one more caller, and then we'll go ahead and take some emails here. Let's see. Welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going, Frazier? Are you there? Are you there to join us today? Let's see if he's there.
Rip.
I know, right? Maybe. I think he fell asleep because he was in there too long.
That's your fault. I blame you.
That's right. All right, we'll go ahead and move him on there, and let's go ahead and bring in Verbalocity. Verbalocity, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going, buddy?
He's in chat right now. He's not paying attention.
Hello? I know. There he is. There he is. It's that delay.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Apologies about this.
Top of the morning.
Just put us on hold, Octane.
It's all these EU. I know, right? It's all these.
So apologies. So turns out for some reason my cat decided to knock my headset out of the computer. Wonderful.
Ah, nice, nice.
Okay, I can actually hear everyone. I'm alive. Do I sound
right? You sound great. I think it's so funny because I always talk about this. Like every SmiteTalk show, we get more EU players calling in than we do NA, and the hour's like absurd for the EU guys. So Verbalocity, one of my wonderful viewers here, and longtime viewers, and also you're casting now too, right, for EGL?
Yes, I do. That is true.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice.
Good for you.
I also stream for
Smite
Alternative as well.
Smite Alternative. Cool. So
Smite Alternative, yeah.
Yeah, so what would you like to talk about today?
Well, specifically, I wanted to talk to you guys about a sort of a meta topic, if you will. We've been hearing a lot about Nox and sort of the Kraken. I wanted to discuss with you guys the topic of how the community tends to react and manage and shift to brand new releases of God and how Hi-Rez handles it. Because we've seen a couple times, specifically with, I like to know, Kraken, Sylvanas, and more recently with a more severe effect, Nox. For the first week or so, everyone's running around like a headless chicken, claiming, oh, this grand strategy is the future. No, this one is.
Yep.
And then for the second week when the nerfs come, it kind of shifts the other way for a little bit. And then after that, things slowly wind down. So I wanted to ask both of you fine gentlemen's opinion on how Hi-Rez handles things post-release and just when they release a god in terms of design. Also, shout out to Hi-Rez KP.
Well,
KP.
I know for a fact, Hi-Rez Chris had actually told us when we were discussing gods and just, how they balance them out and stuff like that is when they release a god, they like to wait like about a month is what Chris had said. is normal for gathering data. You know, they release the god, they want to gather the data before they jump the gun. I mean, initially, you know, you hear all these outcries, you know, from people on Reddit or Twitter regarding a god being either, you know, super OP or in this case, you know, being terrible or not as good. So that's my understanding, is that they wait about a month before they go ahead and make any decisions when it comes to the adjustments. Any thoughts or feedback there, FG?
Yeah, that's actually perfect. And Nox is a special case, but typically that makes a lot of sense because, you know, you take someone, I got to think of a guy that, like a ROM, for example. Okay. A ROM might come out and his win rate might be low. This is not what happened, but stick with me here. A ROM might come out and his win rate might be really low, but he's a really good god. His win rate is low because people that don't typically play hunters are flocking to play ROM for, you know, since he's brand new, which throws off the numbers. So them waiting a month makes a lot of sense. Nox, they're not going to wait a month, but you're completely right.
You don't think so?
No,
you don't think so?
It's too low. It's way too low. This is the lowest win rate I've seen since I started playing Smite. I don't think they can wait very much longer.
All right. We'll see. We'll definitely see how that works out. So, Verbalosity, what are your thoughts on Nox so far that you've been able to tell?
I'll be honest. With Nox, I have a similar opinion as I did to Cabrakan, in which, to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what to think right now, and honestly, I don't have the correct knowledge to even know so I'm going to leave it up to people better than me to decide, and I'll just kind of tag along with it.
That is an awesome opinion to have.
That's right.
It actually
and honestly,
is.
But one thing that I will note, one small caveat is that she seems to be, the term that I keep hearing banded around, or I guess the phrase is, she's a sustained damage mage in a burst damage meta. What would you guys think on that? And like the fact that a lot of things right now is mobility and burst. A lot of gods have that, like say your Scylla's or your Hobwas, that kind of thing, or your Ra's, even though Ra did get enough in the mobility department somewhat, compared to someone like Nox, who neither lacks severe burst nor mobility.
Yeah, mobility is definitely that big one right now. If you look, you know, we were just kind of talking about like our games within Divine Intervention, and you know, just having those global presence gods like that were on my team, like Athena, Apollo, Thor, stuff like that. The mobility is huge. As well, gods that have a disengage or a leap are like doing super well right now. So I don't, as you had kind of said, like Nox doesn't fit that niche right now. Could that change with a meta shift? It could. I don't see that occurring until maybe after SWC, possibly. Just with the way that players are playing, you know, and these gods right now. I mean, we're not seeing a ton of Sylvanas. I mean, granted, we saw Sylvanas, you know, at the finals today with Divine Intervention, but I don't know. I would agree with you there, though. The high burst and the high mobility is definitely something that is extremely successful right now, and I don't see that, as you kind of said, she doesn't fit into the meta perfectly.
Totally agree.
All right, well, good deal.
Although, what do you guys just? I would like to say, what about the possibility of Nox jungle? Some people have been banding that around.
Yeah, but if you look at Nox jungle though, where we just talked about it, where's the mobility? Like,
what about
the lockdown?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, like my thought is like the mobility. Like, how are you entering into lane? Just walking. Just kind of walk on everything, you know. It's like you have to have sprint, so when you come into lane, you're coming like full force in. Yeah, I don't see her as in jungle, to be honest with you.
I've had some people tell me, "Oh no, just rush combat blink and it'll be fine." Then that's 900 gold on a 3-minute cooldown.
Yeah.
No, I want to like Nox. I love her style, but then also I have a slight thematic problem with Nox. Like, if you watch the reveal trailer and the way that announcer describes it, it's like, this is the primordial god of darkness. Even the gods themselves fear her in the night. It's like, no, people just... She minorly sneezes on you, and like, oh no, I can't abilities. Oh wait, I'm an assassin. Smack. You're dead. Have a nice day. And just move on.
Yeah, it's something...
she isn't terrifying.
Something Buddha actually said in chat, one of the moderators, which actually I've seen more and more, is Nox in Arena. You know, we have to keep in mind that, you know, gods are... may or may not be built specifically for Conquest, but Nox in Arena I have seen actually do pretty well because of how her passive works.
Really?
Because of how her passive works and how close everyone is in Arena. So it works out. So I can see her doing a little bit better there, and I have actually seen her do better there. But in Conquest, I'm still iffy about it for sure. So Verbalosity, what else? Any other questions or thoughts or discussion points you want to talk about today with us?
Probably the only other thing that's immediately coming up to my mind is, as a final sort of question to hand off to the community in general, what do you guys think is going to be the next Christmas skins or the like festive skins coming out? Because Christmas time is around the corner, so there is potential.
Well, we know. I mean,
what do you guys think?
As normal, like Bacchus will come back, right? Hell will come back. Fenrir will be back.
I'm talking brand new. Of course, there's like Wreck the Halls and all that. I mean, like brand new. And do you think that Festive Hell needs a redo?
I want to see a raw Grinch Christmas skin.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Or
That's
even
right.
Loki could play that a little bit.
Yeah, he could, especially with his voice packs and stuff like that. That would be very fitting.
And then some type of Christmas tree Sylvanas, something to that nature, maybe.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Yeah.
We'll see.
I can see that one. But I feel like with like those Christmas skins, they need to give them to some of like the older guys that have been around longer compared to like Sylvanas who just came out like a month ago.
Sorry. Quebec is getting 2 skins probably.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3.
Yeah,
Maybe
I know, right? I saw that from Hi-Rez Stu regarding the okay, those 2 that Stu that he posted on Twitter. I have to go with the old IBM gross white cream looking piece servers. Oh, come on now. From someone in that industry, like those were perfect. I love like the suspenders with the glasses. The other ones, I was like, no.
Oh god, I could just imagine the ultimate when he steps down, a couple of wires come out, and then instead of walls, it's computer screens with blue screens of death.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, that's kind of funny.
That a boy.
You might have sold me on that one part.
That's right. Oh, somebody in chat says St. Patrick's Day Loki. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh!
That would be awesome. Do a Leprechaun Loki. Or actually, Vamana could do Vamana as a little leprechaun. That'd be cool. All right, Verbalocity, thank you for joining us today. I do appreciate it, sir. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you to have me on, sir.
Have a good one. All right, we have 2 more people that are kind of hanging out right now. We're going to go ahead and read off some of our emails first before we take any additional viewer calls.
Nice.
What else you want to talk
so we can kind of lay off Nox a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
People in chat are like, no more Nox.
I know.
Yes, he's terrible.
Hi-Rez is like, Octane, we'd like to remove you from the channel as you're talking down upon the guides that we release. Okay.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. So this email is from Billy. If you guys do email in, I won't read like your entire email address or your whole name. So no worries. So this one comes from Billy and says, hey, huge fan of the show. I have a question. I have just started playing Smite and people are saying things like CC and so on. Is there a way to learn some of the Smite lingo that people are constantly calling out in game for a new player? Interesting. There is not, to my knowledge, unless you know FG of like there's a site or something like that.
I'm trying to go to Reddit right now. there was a guy that put together like a wiki encyclopedia of all the terms. And it goes from
excellent.
ADC all the way to Zapulated. Like it's like
Zapulated.
Even... But I can't find it on Reddit.
Well, if we can't find it, chat will. Like Smite Game chat is like notorious for like being able to find anything on the interwebs.
I will not let them beat me this time.
Yeah.
They beat me every single time. This will not happen.
Someone's gonna look it up. Someone's gonna find it. I think for new players, I think this is a cool idea. I would actually like to see Hi-Rez put something together in game. As you know, that you go ahead and you have the tutorial. It would be really cool that there would be some additional links, like in game. You know how there is. I don't remember. I'm sorry if I haven't like launched the game from a tutorial perspective in like 2 years. But it would be nice if there was something in game around the whole like new player aspect where just a quick little button, you click the button and it takes you to like just a quick listing so that people could learn some of that stuff. That'd be nice. What are you laughing about over here? Oh, people are posting.
Everyone tried to post it because of you.
Because of me? What do you mean? There we go. We found it right here. Okay, Smite Dictionary. It is correct. Thank you. I will repost it because everyone's getting like rocked because you can't post links. See, it's fine. They posted it. They posted it. All right, who do I give credit to posting it first? Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll up. Somebody said Smite Dictionary right off the back.
Wow, yeah, this is it. This is perfect. This
Super Duper Fish actually said Smite Dictionary, but then someone linked it there. So I'm actually going to email Billy back with this link here. And yeah, so let's go to Google, look up Smite Academy, It's kind of like Smite Dictionary is the same thing, same website and stuff like that, and has more than 300 entries. Oh my word!
Yeah, it's the real deal.
I wanted to see if there was
Hold
like
on.
that's crazy. Whoever made this is awesome. Like this is the type of stuff we need. This is good. I mean, this is really good. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so that is our question there from Billy. So thank you, Billy, for going ahead. If you guys want to email us as well, SmiteTalk@gmail.com. If you're listening to the VOD or the audio-only version a few days later, still email us, and then we'll go ahead and read it next year. Wow. Next show.
Wow.
I was reading an email that I was
Scumbag
reading.
octane.
So I saw the title of one of the emails coming in, and so I think that's what threw me off. Next question here is.
I wanna, wait. Wait. I want to read this. Hold on.
Read what?
The definition of zapulate.
Okay, go
the
for it.
act of outplaying an opponent in a big way by sheer display of skill or showmanship. Named after Steven Zapman Zappis, the world's most influential Smite ADC.
Did Zapman write that? Awesome. Does Zapman write that?
Zapman's ego wrote that.
That's right. All right. Next question here from Roy. It says, hey guys, love the good work. Question. A lot of people, the way it was worded there, play Arena and Assault. Will there someday be a league or ranked mode for that? Not for esports, but more that you can compare yourself against the community. I don't know that there'll be a league specifically, but I would love to see some type of in-game tournament system that can be set up in-game to almost... That would be automatic in regards to... You know, you could go in game and go, hey, it's Saturday. There's no casual things going on. Launch tournament. You launch tournament. You set everything up in game. You know, what game modes, how many players, all that stuff, and then you hit create and you set the window of time people can sign up, and people will just go in there, click sign up. You know, they can automatically put them on teams or whatever. You know, let's say it's all a bunch of randos, and then you go ahead, you play your game, and then you can go back to that and report it. You know, I think it would be a whole really cool system to have in the game. I would love to have this. Even if this fell under the custom category, this would be something that would be amazing, and I feel like a lot of casual players, or players like yourself here, Roy, would really benefit from this to be able to be like, hey, it's Saturday. Let's get an assault tournament going on. And within like 5 minutes, you have a tournament launched. Within 2 hours later, it kicks off. You know, I think that'd be awesome. Like, I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would have to take it even a step further.
Please do.
I know I talk about Blizzard all the time, but I love the company. Blizzard has Raid Finder, right?
Yeah.
You just say, I want to run this raid. I click join group, and they do some rigmarole with your MMR and your elo, and they throw you in a team automatically.
Yeah.
Just take it to the next level.
It would be, I understand, like, I am not looking at this from a game aspect, from a back end aspect or anything like that. I'm looking at this surely from the idea that I feel like there is a demand for this. Where like right now we're constantly depending on our players in Smite to know what Tiermonster is, to know what Smite Central is, and the other big websites out there that do tournaments. Your player base is not going to know about these sites. Like when I talk with people in game and I play with people in game, some of them have never heard of Tiermonster, and so like they should have an outlet in game to be able to do tournaments. Even if Hi-Rez, even if nobody in game could create their own tournament, if Hi-Rez just had an automated system that did it on like, you know, every weekend,
like a rolling queue.
Yeah, exactly, like a rolling system where like every day at 12 p.m. Eastern, there is a Siege tournament on every Monday that goes ahead and you can sign up in game for it, and you know that would be awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and now we have like the technology on the home screen where it pops up and tells you what the most current thing is. And be
is
like,
it? Wow.
By the way,
that's a really good idea, FG. Man, I wonder.
Not raid. I keep wanting to say raid, but you know what I mean. Tournament playing. Sign up right now.
Can I say I'm so happy that they did that types of stuff and redid the home screen?
Oh yeah,
so
it keeps
awesome.
getting better and better.
It does. It does. So thank you, Roy, for going ahead and submitting that question. That kind of sparked that conversation. Good question there. Another email here from Dylan. It says, has there been a release of the translated version of the Ao Kuang detailed video? Those of you guys not familiar, there was a video that this guy says it was a Spanish. Was that Spanish or was that what? I thought it was Chinese.
I thought it was Chinese too.
Yeah, I thought it was Chinese too.
The translated one is out somewhere.
Yeah. So those of you guys not familiar, I can actually link it in chat because I have the info up here. Where is it? Let's see. Here it is. There was a video that came out this past week that was posted on Reddit. It was a video of the new Ao Kuang, pretty much the reveal video for the Chinese market that was kind of led by Hi-Rez Stu in the video. Here's the link that was, wow, it looks like totally, it looks a little skeptical. I know.
He's stealing your keys.
I know. It is, yeah, that's right. That's right. It is Chinese. I can tell by the top there. I couldn't remember. But this was released, and there wasn't really like a huge statement by like Hi-Rez Studios about this or anything like that, but it was on Reddit. So I haven't seen a translated version yet, but you're saying that you did see one?
Dubbed or subtitled.
Oh,
That'd be hilarious.
Dubbed.
That'd be hilarious.
Because people, I guess the guy had said there are rumors that he's going to be like a mage like Freya. I was wondering your opinion on his release. I'm expecting him to be released as a jungler, but I'm not really sure. So FG, from the kind of spoiler video that came out, what were your thoughts on what you saw from Ao Kuang?
Absolutely. Looks like a Freya-ish, magus, assassin, Thanatos-ish type of.
How about that ultimate with that dragon, though? That ultimate with that dragon
insane
in the sky? Like, that was cool. That was cool.
They went all out. You know, they definitely went all out because this is the poster boy for Smite China. So
yeah, yep.
I could understand. I could understand. So it looks really good. China is getting it on Tuesday, the 4th. And I'm not sure when we'll get it. I guess we'll get it maybe next Wednesday, the 12th. After that, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah,
but
they
definitely do have the early release.
I can't wait because Freya is so unique compared to any of the other gods, especially mages that are in the game. Like, so unique. Most of your other mages are very ranged, and where you have your typical like your attack damage gods that are your melee. And this is completely different, so I'm really excited about it for sure. So really looking forward to it, and we'll have to see what happens. Let's see here. Another question. We'll take this next question here, and then we'll take another caller. Is from Maniac. Says, FG, kind of hit it a little earlier talking about Mercury's back door. So this came in today. Great. But do you think the nerfs and buffs so far have been on par? Or do they still need to make an adjustment to Mercury? Let's see. Mercury, Cuckoo, and Freya are still OP to me. I think Sun Wukong could go for a larger buff, and I'm still waiting for a change to Hades. I want him viable again. So what do you think? So pretty much Mercury. I'm actually kind of happy where Mercury's at right now. What do you think?
I think I'm over the whole backdooring meta. I don't know if I like it anymore. Now, when I used to play New Wa, the old New Wa, I was in a totally different boat. But now, I don't know if I really like the backdoor meta anymore. It just sucks to be in a game where there is a Mercury that didn't do very well, that did not carry the team whatsoever, and he's always in another lane somewhere else, opposite of wherever the team fights are, because at the 25-minute mark and on, it behooves you to group up and stay grouped with your team. Like, that's what you do. Mercury's like, screw you guys. I'm just going to go over here and just take your Phoenix. I don't care if you've killed me 10 times and shut me down. I'm going to take this. You're going to rotate and try to kill me, but you're just going to waste time because I'm just going to ult and see you later. And he kills things so fast. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm okay with where Mercury's at right now. My biggest gripe with him earlier was just his ability to play multiple roles better than other gods, even that were kind of more designed for that role. So I'm okay where Mercury's at right now. Cuckoo, I think, is fine. Cuckoo Khan, I think he's fine. Like
Cuckoo is way better now.
I'm
so
completely
much
content.
better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with that. Freya. Freya's in such a unique role right now, but I feel like if we're adding additional gods very similar to her playstyle and the mechanics behind her, I feel like then that people won't feel so strong against her. I mean, when right now, I know in the game today, we banned out Freya. So that was something that I considered, just looking at this email about Freya. I can understand where people are like, she's still OP. She's very, very good right now. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But I'm fine with her. I mean, the only
I'm okay with Freya for sure.
Yeah.
She's easy with CC. She's shut down. Like, if you can land CC on her, she will melt in a second. So she's easily counterable. She can't backdoor you. She's not going to be running around the map just taking objectives away from you. So she's more containable. So I'm okay with gods being containable. And she is a hyper carry, so she's supposed to be scary.
What do you think about Sun Wukong, though? There were some changes made to him, and it was supposed to be like, oh, Sun Wukong's back, jungle.
He's not back.
No, he's not back.
He's not back.
I was so excited.
I
was so excited.
My face was smacked in.
Yeah.
He's not back. He's better. He's not back.
Yeah, I was really excited to see Sun Wukong coming back, especially even because of the warrior changes that were made forever ago. Seeing him back in the dual lane, I was super excited. And then the changes.
Well, duo.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say then everyone got excited about it possibly being buff towards jungle, and we're not seeing the change now. Like it's not a huge benefit.
I kind of like the support role of Wukong a little bit, just because he can really kind of help push with that that bonus 20% damage on Jinku Bang. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty legit. And I think that's needed because we're getting to the point now where you put a Sylvanas in your lane and you're pushing too hard.
Yeah.
Like you put a Rom and a Sylvanas in a lane, and you have anything else, you are like it's over.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be under your tower the entire time. So I like there being more options to kind of counter this hard push that we're seeing in the long lane. And this is kind of what we've always talked about on SmiteTalk is the power creep. There was a time where long lane was a little bit more stagnant. You had like a Sobek over there.
It was so quiet, not much happened.
It was a lot more quiet. And now you can get pushed way out now. You'll be under your tower within seconds because everyone just can push so well.
There's a lot of hyper aggressive combos now too. Like people a lot like right now the meta is shifting a ton or has been already to like hyper aggressive dual lanes. So like it's just crazy right now, like how aggressive people play and the gods they're picking and everything.
You're doing yourself a real disservice if you're using someone like Shibalanke during the laning phase. I'm not talking about the late game or anything like that, but you're using people like Cupid and Shibalanke. You're doing a real disservice to yourself because you are going to get outpushed by people that are going to use combos like Sylvanas and Apollo and Rom, and you're really kind of limited over there. So I don't know what the answer is slow down the long lane, but I think it probably needs to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point.
Does.
Okay, well, let's go ahead here and bring in our next caller here, Steelheart. We're going to bring him in here in just a second and get some questions from him. If you guys do want to go ahead and call in, please feel free. Download RaidCall, raidcall.com, and then go ahead and put in the group ID code that you see directly below the stream here, and you can go ahead and join us. And don't be afraid to come in and chat live. I mean, we encourage people to come in, just have a conversation. Come in, chat. If you have a subject or a question to talk about, or you just want to tell us about your favorite Smite experience, like we don't mind either way. We love talking with you guys. Keep in mind, guys, that after the show tonight ends, we are going to go ahead and do some viewer games for a little while. So if you guys do want to join us, FG and myself will be playing with you guys. So it should be a ton of fun. Oh, I got here.
No mercy. No mercy, viewers. I'm sorry ahead of time.
Here. I'll do the same thing. Ready? Here we go. Okay, good. Now we're good to go. Now we're like uber elite. We're using gunners and we're hosting a talk show. We're not even like playing Smite. Okay,
even my mind has gunners. So I'm ready to go.
Alrighty, good deal. All right now, so Steelheart, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
Hi, friends.
Hello. So we want to talk about today. What do you want to talk about today, Steelheart? What do you got? We heard you for a second.
I'm talking about in-game report system.
Okay.
Good.
So what is your question or comment about the current in-game report system?
Absolutely. I'm thinking about everybody report each other's.
Mm-hmm.
But not proof.
Gotcha. So we're talking about, you're saying a lot of people get reporting, but there's not really like real solid reasons to be reported? Or?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can go ahead and take the question from here. There is a little bit of a communication barrier, language barrier there, but that's completely okay. We got you. So
we got this.
And if you want to add to your question, you can go ahead and just send me a message. Send me more here. I just sent you a message in raid call there, but we'll definitely talk about this some more. So let's talk about it. So the reporting system in game. What are your thoughts on it, FG? You've been playing Smite for quite a long time now.
A long time.
So what are your thoughts?
There's a lot of Redditness. There's a lot of Smite forumness. There's a lot of just all over
the place. All right, Reddit posters. Get ready, Reddit posters. Here it comes.
So, and Octane, you're going to be right on board with this. We know a lot of people that have visited Hi-Rez Studios quite often. And on top of that, I am also subscribed to this Facebook Smite community that has over 12,000 people associated with it. So let me just say, I know people that know that the community team at Smite read reports and they ban people every single day. Not only do I know that from firsthand knowledge from people like F. Dot and people like Pon Pon and Mamacita, I also know it from the Facebook chat, the Facebook group that I'm associated with, because every day someone posts that they got banned for something.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
yeah.
hey, I can't log in. Oh, because you were banned for BMing
Yep.
people. So people get banned all the time. And I think the disconnect is the fact that people just kind of want some type of, if someone is so vicious to you and so mean, you kind of want to guarantee that they're going to be banned. And you're just not going to get that. You're not going to be guaranteed to know that they're going to be banned. You just have to trust that the system works. I promise you people are getting banned. And I know it's kind of frustrating because sometimes you'll be in a game with some guy that's BMing and he'd be like, go ahead and report me. I don't care. Don't worry. He'll get his. I promise you. If what he's doing is worthy enough to be banned, he will be banned. So just say, dude, you reported. Harassment, enter what you have to enter, and just move on to the next game. Don't let it affect you. Trust me, they are getting, because people that do that they don't do it just once.
Yeah.
Like people that BM you and tell you to go do this to yourself and uninstall. That's not the first time they've done it. They've done it before. The more times they do it, the higher the chances of them getting caught and the higher chances of getting permanent bans and losing all their skins, all their gems, all their favor. So it works. Trust me.
I want to touch on a few things you talked about there. You had mentioned regarding, just how that works with people and reporting and knowing that something happens. I've never, trying to think, I haven't reported someone in a very long time, but I think something that, in order to help put the community at ease a little bit, some things need to be done with the reporting system. And maybe they're already in place, and I just don't know it because I don't report people enough. I literally don't have a lot of games where I have problems with people, to be honest with you. And maybe that's because
you do viewer games.
I know that is true. The game. I mean, I probably have some of the higher custom games out there for a non-pro player, like some of the higher ones, because it's all I do. All I do is do custom games with the players that I stream with. And they're all super polite, really cool community. But anyways. I don't know if this is in place, and maybe you could tell me it is because I haven't seen it. If I'm reporting FG3000 for X, Y, and Z, I feel like after it's been reviewed by a Hi-Rez employee and something has been applied to, let's say they ban your account or something for like an hour or 4 hours, there should at least be a message sent back to me, even in game, that just says, something in regards to, due to your report, FG3000 has been issued some type of, like, it has been issued a punishment in one way or another. They don't need to tell me what it was, but just to tell me that what I did has affected someone else. Compared to, I feel like when the last time I reported someone, I feel like you report them, you click it, and then it disappears into eternity. It's gone. You don't know what happened. You don't know if someone reads it. Like, it would be great if there's like, it would be cool if in Smite, in-game, we had a built-in message system in regards to like an email type of system almost in-game. So when I report someone and a employee at Hi-Rez reads it, I just get a message back that just says, Hi-Rez admin has reviewed and read your report against XYZ. And then when there is a ban that occurs or something that occurs, it just comes back and says it. I feel like we as the community need that. We need that feedback to know that, okay, what we have reported has directly affected someone else in the first place. And second, we know that they're being punished for the actions that have occurred. Do you know if any of that occurs right now, FG? Because like I am not involved with I don't do that type of stuff at all.
No, there's nothing. You just like you said, it goes off into the ether, and you just kind of.
Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, forever ago, somebody mentioned Karma from Hi-Rez Studios, and we have not seen this system. Why?
It was me and you and Hi-Rez Chris.
Why is there no Karma system, and why have we talked about it for the past like 8 months? And it was mentioned like 8 months ago. Like, what happened with that? Like, we as a community have, there's these type of quality of life changes. I think are like, take 2 months and don't release any gods for a 2-month period, and let's see some quality of life changes. Like, I feel like that would be huge. Like, these types of little things, when I feel like we could really improve the community so much by adding some of these additional features in.
Yeah, you make a really good point. And just to kind of flip it around, we're talking so much about punishing people. How about we start rewarding people and letting their behavior spread to the other people?
Exactly. So I feel like if Hi-Rez hits it from 2 angles, from the angle of the reports and from the angle of being like, wow, like, you know, I finished again with FG3000, had a blast, great communication, would love to play with him again. Let me go ahead and throw some karma his way. Like, I feel like you're really attacking, like Drybear, community manager. Where you at, bro? Come on now. Let's start doing it here. Like, you know, let's take it from both angles.
Man, he's down under, hanging out with kangaroos.
No pun intended, right? No pun intended.
Nice.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in Captain. Let's see here, Captain MCL. Captain, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I am relatively new to this game and MOBAs in general.
Well, welcome.
And I was just wondering if I could...
Okay, now finish your question after I interrupted you. Go ahead, Captain.
Good. Oh, thank you. And oh, did you not hear my last part?
I didn't. I think you cut out, so we didn't hear your question. All you said was, "I'm new to the community."
Oh, okay. Well, I just said that I was wondering if I could get some advice and stuff for the game.
Okay. And why don't we focus a little bit more on what area? So what area do you think we should focus on more with your question?
Well, like going through like a basic game, what I should be doing.
Okay. Well, first, I guess thoughts, we have to narrow that down, is what role do you like to play, or what god do you like to play, and what game mode?
Well, I mainly play Conquest right now.
Okay.
And I like playing ADC, and I play Artemis a lot.
Okay, awesome. Good for you. So, FG, I'm going to throw it to you first. In the meantime, Captain, I'm going to send you 200 gems just to say, welcome to Smite. We're so happy to have you. And I'm going to go ahead and send you 200 gems in raid call. And you'll just go ahead in-game and activate this.
Wow, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm new to the game too, Octane. I'd like some gems, please.
Get out! Get out! All right, so FG.
Let's talk Artie.
Go for it. Go for it.
Let's talk Artie and let's talk Hunters. Now, little known fact, before I moved on to the solo lane, Hunter was my primary role, so it's very close to my heart. It's very close to my heart. Okay. So there's a few things as a Hunter that you're always supposed to focus on, and I feel like these are kind of the biggest pitfalls that I see people that never really excel at Hunters. They always kind of make this mistake. So your number one priority is farm. Like, farm is your number one priority. Every now and then you might want to rotate out of the long lane and go somewhere else, but 9 times out of 10, your job, especially as an Artemis, because you're not like a Pollen, you can't fly around. As an Artemis, you want to stay in the long lane. You want to farm. You want to get your core items online. You need to get lifesteal. You need to get penetration. You need to get movement speed. You need to get crit. Until you have those, you aren't going to be strong enough to carry your team. Like an ADC in its rawest form is the carry. You're supposed to come in and wreck shop, but you can't wreck shop if you haven't been in your lane farming. You need to really understand your goal.
Hey, we're still here.
Have you not heard any of this? You really need to understand your gold flow. You don't want to go back to the base before you know you can finish the next level of your Devourer's gloves or the next level of your boots. Like, you need to get it down to the science where it's, all right, I need to stay in the lane for 15 minutes to get this next item. That's when you leave. So you need to ration your mana. You need to ration your aggression. You need to make sure that when you go back to the base, it is to get an item, get stacking, come back, and just farm. So if you can focus on that first, you'll find out that you are going to outdo so many other Hunters in the game. You know, when it comes to boxing matches, yes, a lot of skill involved. But with Artemis, you are at a supreme advantage if you have any type of gold lead on the enemy ADC. With your ultimate, with your trap, you can pretty much 100-0 almost every other Hunter in the game, with a few exceptions nowadays. So just work on your farm. Just look at the end when you're at the very end of the game. Look at your gold per minute and just keep on trying to push that number higher and higher and higher and higher. And once you do that, dude, it's golden.
Yeah, I think something
else. I say this all the time as a scumbag. I say this. This is my last point. I say this all the time as a scumbag. Don't play fair. get more items, get more gold, and then beat people like that. Don't try to play fair. Don't try to play with even items. Screw that noise. Get a Deathbringer while they only have boots 1, and then go fight.
Yeah, something else to keep in mind too, looking at an opposite perspective with playing an ADC like yourself. First off, don't limit yourself to Artemis. Make sure that you're playing some of the other gods. Big gods to play as well would be something like Apollo and Rom, who are very, very common in the current meta. Artemis, great choice though. Artemis has been around for a while. Something I want to recommend too is, you're playing Artemis, so you're going to be playing in the dual lane in Conquest. Rely on your support. Your support is your best friend. Your support is your protector. Don't be trying to make any big plays without your support. Your support is your right-hand man. You need to be and when you're playing in support, you need to be protected behind that support. That support needs to be in front of you, going ahead and controlling the situation. You also need to follow up directly behind that support. Your support, let's say you're playing with Geb. Your Geb may go ahead and roll in and do a knockup. Well, you need to be in there right behind that knockup to then go ahead and stack a combo on top of that of one of your abilities, like a trap right off the back or something like that. Rely on your support. You're not playing solo. You are connected with that support. Now, the support is very good. That support will keep you alive. If there's anyone in the entire game that needs to stay alive the most, it is your ADC. Your ADC cannot die. I'm a Guardian player, and I will die 10 times to keep my ADC alive if need be, and put myself in the way to die. Because guess what? You're the ADC. You're the most valuable player probably on the entire team when it comes down to how things work out. Something else to keep in mind as well is what FG said is don't go back that often. It's very common for new players to want to back every time they're low on mana or their health is below halfway. There's so much XP that is lost and gold that is lost. You are the type of player that needs to stay in lane as long as possible. If you don't have much mana at all, but your Guardian's returning back, meet him at blue buff and get that blue buff for you. You should also constantly, as an ADC, be having that blue buff. That'll keep you in lane, which will result in higher levels, which will result in you snowballing and doing much better. So hopefully both what FG and I said will help you out with your recommendation playing as Artemis. Any other questions that you have for us today?
Yeah, I actually have one more question.
Go for it, please.
So, I was like a couple days ago, I was playing a game and I did god awful. I got like 8 kill and went like 19 deaths. Okay. And then there was the 4 guys that they were super salty. And they were screaming at me and stuff. And at the start of the game, I said, don't get mad at me if I'm doing crap. I'm new at the game and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And then I got, they reported me. All 4 of them reported me for feeding, intentional feeding and stuff like that. And I was just wondering, because I didn't want to get banned for being new to the game.
Sure.
And I was just curious to how the reporting system works. Do they check games at all? Are they recorded in any sort of the way? Or is just a certain amount of bans you just get, or a certain amount of reports you just get banned?
So the games are all recorded. The Hi-Rez has the ability to go back and look at them. If you're a new player, I would just shrug that off, to be honest with you. Second,
for sure.
It sounds like that you haven't played enough games yet for the matchmaking system to accurately put you with players that are similar to your skill level and experience. The new matchmaking system is supposed to be doing that, where after so many games, you will start to be only playing with people that are new and that are like-minded when it comes down to the experience that you have. I will have to say, and I apologize for the community for reporting you for feeding as a new player. It's extremely common, unfortunately, and it really shouldn't happen, especially to a new player. What I could recommend is do you play any of the other game modes, or no? You just really only play Conquest?
Well, during the reaping, I played all the game modes to get the gems and stuff.
Yep.
The jimmies.
On the second reaping, at least for the 25 gems a game.
Okay.
And I played the joust sometimes, but nothing much out of that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I would recommend is if you're trying to get down a role a little bit better, like Artemis or whatever, maybe try Artemis a little bit more in Arena or, Siege or something like that. I feel like Arena would be a really good place to learn the God and the God mechanics a little bit better before jumping into Conquest. I mean, Conquest, a lot of people are tryhard mode. Like, you know, that's all they care about. And so, you know, I could definitely see that as an, you know, as an issue. It's a shame that you ran into that, to be honest with you. Because, like, I play with people all the time, and I'm like, I don't care what skill level you are, like new or you're a pro player, like I'll still play with you, but I'm not gonna rage at you. And it's such a shame to hear that like you have run into a situation where the community and the people you played with feel that you were feeding just because you died a ton of, and it's gonna happen. It happens with new players all the time. The biggest issue I see with new players is they jump into lane and feel and make and play like nothing can hurt them. They run into tower, they think minions aren't strong, and then they constantly die, and they get mad at Smite. They don't understand why. So, last recommendation I can make for you is when you're in lane, minions are super dangerous. Don't be attacking the enemy god when you have a whole group of minions right next to them. They will actually do more damage than that enemy god will with you not even noticing it. So clear those waves, then attack the enemy, and don't try to do a 2-on-1, especially as a new player. You're not really going to be able to do that. So any last recommendations, FG?
Yeah, on that point, levels are super important in Smite. So if you're level 12 and the enemy ADC is level 15, that only sounds like 3 levels, but it is a huge ocean. And at that point, you should just kind of just be safe, farm, and just back to what I said before, farm. Wait until you have an advantage. Wait until you can reliably start killing people, and then you'll come around. ADC is a fun role. It's a really good place to start because you can really kind of focus on your own game and kind of understand everything else a little bit later. Like you can get a real good grips of what goes on in your lane, and then you can kind of branch out later. So long lane is very good.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. That's a good point as well. Well, thanks for joining us, Captain. Enjoy those gems. Once again, when you're in game, go to the store. It's in the upper left-hand corner. Click the little button for the store, and then there's a little spot that says redeem codes. Click there. You just paste in that code, and it'll redeem you 200 gems.
Well, okay. Thank you so much for letting me come on.
No problem. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I just thought of something that's too late now. Death's Toll gives you mana. A lot of people don't know Death's Toll gives you mana.
Yep.
I don't know. Auto attack as much as you can. Just hit minions safely.
Dude, I still love Death's Toll when I play ADCs in Conquest. I still love starting with it. I still love it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will go like Death's Toll, Warrior Tabby, gloves, or swap those around a little bit. But yeah, I still love Death's Toll as well. Alrighty, let's bring another caller here. Tallywhackin 101. Tallywhackin 101. Welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
What would you like to talk about today, sir?
I got actually basically 2 questions, kind of.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about Nejai in the support role?
Oh, no! Did FG put you up to this?
No, I do it all the time, and people tend to get angry, but then I dominate. So.
Oh my word!
Yes.
Did he send this to you and was like, "Hey, I need somebody to do this on stream for Octane"?
No.
This is the thing, Octane. This is the thing. Octane Nejai support is fantastic. Our Artillery Sash is so
I will
easy
never
to set up
I will
kills
never
with.
play Nejai in support ever.
It's really good. Ring toss, such a really good harass. It's a no. You don't have to think about harassing. You throw it at the archer minions. It's guaranteed to ping them like 3 or 4 times. There's nothing they can do. It's guaranteed damage. Stun is guaranteed secure, and you can hold someone in place. Even if you're playing support, you're not going to have a lot of damage. So you can hold somebody in place with your ultimate. Wait for your ADC to come. Wait for your jungler to come. It is so good. The only problem is when your teams don't build around you. So if you
how dare they not build around a untraditional god pick and roll? How dare they?
That's a good point. But if you have a Nejai support and you don't have any tanky people on your team, you need to have like a chalk solo. Like if you have a chalk solo, I think that is the best thing to have. Then once you get to that 25-minute mark, Nejai can kind of start building a little bit more bruiser-ish because he's going to have a few tanking items. Start building a little bit more bruiser-ish. Let chalk take over on the front lines. It's really good. But the problem I do see is that you have Nejai as your front line, and that's not very good. It can work. It can snowball really early, but if you get to the 25-minute, 30-minute mark, I don't think you can make it.
I don't know what to say about this, to be honest with you. I just don't even want to.
I just feel to be outnumbered.
I just don't even want to comment on it. I'm just gonna be no. Any other questions for us today?
He's trying to kick you off. He had another question, Octane.
Oh,
let the man speak.
All right,
let the man speak.
I got faith. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Well, it's also honestly about her. It's him. I mean, his attack chain. When you use his attack speed boost, every once in a while, when you get done with that, you will do another overhand strike that does no damage. Like, where would I go to report that bug or whatever? Like, it slows down.
I felt that a few times, and I didn't know what was going on. And I'm usually recording, so I just write it off as me hallucinating. If you can record it, even better. But Hi-Rez Chris would be the man that I always send those things directly to. But there's probably a bug report here when I do ! Bug.
Yeah, there's actually like a report that you can do it.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, there's a link in chat. I'll put it in raid call into our conversation, so you just can have quick access to it. But there is actually a reporting feature for that, so report it, please do.
All right.
All right, well, cool. Well, anything else for today?
That's it.
All right, thank you for coming on.
Best god in the game.
The last comment I can make is don't play gods that don't belong in that role. Just gonna say it.
He's a god. He can go anywhere he wants, Octane.
All right, moving on.
I was talking about this to my team, my intervention team today.
I really wish I was on your team. I would have argued so bad.
They're like, so do you play Nija jungle? I'm like, no. Why would I do that?
Why would I do something traditional?
Jungle with him? It's so good. It's so good.
You should have been like, have you guys seen my YouTube series? You can play Nija anywhere. Doesn't matter.
But not. Oh, you could jungle with them. I'm just joking. I just don't like it. Exactly. I don't like jungle Nija.
All right, let's bring in. All right, Lamps. Welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. So we want to talk about today. Hopefully it's not Nija.
No, it's actually items.
Curses.
That a boy. All right, cool. What are we talking about? Go for it.
Well, I just kind of realized recently with the whole, I guess the bows were how many patches ago? Like 2 or 3?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Since I kind of seen them in the game, they felt kind of like their only real effect was their passive. And even then, I still don't really go towards them. Kind of look at like a jungle and ADC role. And I'm just kind of where you guys think items are going to go now with the passives.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm so torn when it comes to items. I know a lot of. Are you in the camp where you want to see more items in the game, or you're just kind of disappointed that these items aren't really in the meta? Like, what are you trying to say on this topic?
Yes, I just want to I kind of like the idea of a time eventually, whereas ADC I don't need Deathbringer, and there will be something else I can use.
Yeah, unfortunately, hunters have it the worst. Hunters pretty much have it the worst. They are the most straight line build in the game, whereas solo is fantastic. Solo, you can kind of build all over the place. I really agree with you. They introduce items into the game, and they don't exactly. They either like Aussie, like when Aussie first came into the game, everybody was buying Aussie. Like every single person was buying it. And then there was like, okay, this is way too strong. We need to pull it back. Now the only people that buy it are people that have attack chains like Osiris. So if you're okay with items like an Aussie into the game, I'm okay with more and more items being added. But it's really, really hard to add an item, for example, a Jotun's Wrath into the game all the time. Because if you add an item that good and that core, then everyone's going to buy it. And then it becomes core again, right? Then you defeat the purpose of adding more items. So I think Aussie is kind of like one of the best items in the game to kind of illustrate this, because not everybody buys it, but on the people that you do buy it on, it's actually worth picking up. Same thing with like Malice, for example. You only put it on people like Circuit.
Yep.
You can kind of do Frostbound Hammer. Pon showed it today. Frostbound Hammer Thanatos. Not a lot of people build that, but it's really, really good. Golden Bow on Mercury and Nija. So I feel like we have a lot of items in the game. Unfortunately, every single thing I just recommended has nothing to do with hunters. So that I'm not sure. We're on the right path. So I feel as long as they keep adding items, kind of like Aussie, kind of like Onseal. I'm looking at an item list. I'm not just that good. If we keep on adding items in the game.
I'm on the wiki too, like scrolling down.
Yeah, Shifter Shield. There are a lot of good Witchblade. These are really, really good items that you don't always have to put in your core. But I totally agree with you. Hunters are really pigeonholed to what they can build, and I don't really know an answer to that. It doesn't actually bother me because I feel like Hunter is probably one of the most highest skill cap roles in the game. So you and your Hunter, you and the enemy Hunter in the lane by yourselves, you guys are building the same item. It comes all the way down to skill. Who can outfarm who can outbox who, and I almost feel like that's more fun than trying to build different items, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Go ahead. What do you got?
I was just to say, like, when it comes to like crit chance, I feel like you always go for Deathbringer and stuff, and like I like the idea of eventually where I can say I can want crit chance and look at the items and then decide fairly, instead of if I need crit chance, I just instantly go to Deathbringer. It was kind of the same thing with the bows. Like if I want attack speed, I instantly go to Executioner.
You kind of already have those cookie cutter items like in mind that seem to be like really, really good. I think the big thing is too, like you're not seeing a lot of pros venture off into different builds, especially for ADC. Everything is kind of staying very cookie cutter, and we haven't actually seen that shift a ton. I thought we might with some of the bows added in, and we did for a tiny bit, but it seems like everything is shifted back. There's some gods that you will go with, you will pick up some of the items, but
Ichival's okay. It's pretty good on a couple of gods, but it really depends on who you're going against once again. So
yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, I think you got a good point. We'll have to see what happens. I think, I feel like we need some big items to be put in that are game-breaking items, or I should say, game-breaking items for some of those gods to change things up a little bit. But I think some of those items will occur as we start to see some more unique gods get added into the game. So we'll see what happens. Any other questions you got for us today, Lamps?
No, that's it.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think it's always so funny, FG. Like, we start out at the beginning of the show, and there's like 1 or 2 people in raid call, and then as the show goes on, it's like a roller coaster. They just keep on building. I know everybody's like, yeah. Lots of people coming in. So let's go ahead here. Let's see. Let's read another email here, and then we'll bring another caller. Let's see. We already talked about this one actually. The question here behind this, we already talked about this email. So Colin, I see your email here, man. Let me go ahead and, we already answered it, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that there.
Rip.
And this one actually has a question here from Frazier. Do you like the idea of Thanatos Ghost of Christmas Future skin? That could be an opportunity. I feel like we wouldn't see that though, just because of like how much Thanatos has been pushed with Halloween. And I don't know that we would see like a direct like Thanatos one directly after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not. The uproar would be pretty huge.
I feel like it would be a little close there to say the least. All right, let's bring in another caller here. Welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going? Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
How you doing?
So what do you want to talk about today?
I have a question about items again. Like, there are some items I never see played. Most importantly, Spirit Roam. Can Hi-Rez do anything to buff those, or improve them in any way and get them more played?
F.Dot uses Spirit Robe quite often. He actually does.
And on Deja too, I bet, right?
He better not.
Oh.
He better not.
I mean, there's a lot of items that I feel like are kind of those lost and forgotten items. And I would like to see some stuff done with them, but at the same time, like, not all. It's just like every god. Every god is not going to be played constantly in Smite. Just like every item is not going to be, purchased in the game. But I feel like there are things that Hi-Rez can do in order to make them a little bit more appealing and to compete with some of the other items. What do you think, FG?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I also want to challenge some of the people that are out there in the community playing Smite, because there are items that people don't touch because they have this idea that they're terrible. But they're and I'm going to give you some examples. I want chat to call me out on some of these things. There are some items in the game that aren't exactly as bad as people think they are. I'm going to say an item that people universally think sucks is called Soul Eater. Soul Eater is not the best item to have by yourself, but if you have 2 other melee people on your team, Soul Eater is actually a pretty good item. You get a ton of health. You give lifesteal to all your teammates, right? So there are items in the game that are underused that I think are kind of making the item pool look a little bit smaller. Teleport as an active is actually okay if you use it correctly, and if you don't just teleport only to your tower, you bounce around a little bit. So there are items in the game that we're not really utilizing that are Shell. I still get people BMing me when I buy Shell. I'm like, dude, do you know how good Shell is? Shell is really, really good. So there are items in the game that people aren't using, but I do agree that there's some items that are just trash. There are some low-hanging fruit that I'd like to see Hi-Rez take a look at, like T-Ring, Telcon's Ring, however you say that.
What is this? What is this item you speak of? What is this item you speak
of? This item is terrible because by the time you can afford it, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So I would really love to see maybe that item getting his active pushed down the slot, or maybe bringing the cost down. That's a pretty good low-hanging fruit. Midgardian Mail, I feel like they can get away with upping the proc chance on that a little bit more.
So do you think the best way to attract people to these items is to lower the cost of them? Because I don't know that. I mean, I don't know that would do it.
Well, I think it would be like for Telcon's Ring, for example, you would lower the cost on that to kind of bring other gods into the meta. You know what I mean? Like Scylla is a really good character, but her mid game is her mid early game is a little bit poor. Not mid early game, her middle lane early game is really poor. So it scares people off. But if you can get an early Telcon's Ring on Scylla, that would really, really help her push. It'll bring other people back into the game. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and it's the same thing with when Mercury kind of took off. They dropped Golden Bow down. Now all of a sudden Mercury can use Golden Bow and do other things. So there are a few low hanging fruits that we can kind of do to kind of make other gods come out of the meta a little bit more. There is another example somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is no like perfect solution either to make like there's no great solution to make some of these other items like more attractive. Like then you start to drop the gold on them, and then that becomes a whole problem of like, okay, we've lowered the gold to it's like so freaking cheap. Do people go ahead and pick it up when there's another item that's actually a better choice? But like it's this whole game that you end up playing. So I think it becomes very difficult as the designers and balancers with some of these items to make them more attractive to pick up for players. So it's a good question though. I think items are always something that's on the mind. I don't want a game that there's so many items that I like never have heard of some of them, or they're never ever used. But I also don't want a game where there's cookie cutter builds that every person has for like a role like a Guardian or an ADC and stuff like that. So I kind of want that happy middle, and I think Hi-Rez is kind of juggling with that right now. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. Any other questions for today?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, great question. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alrighty, good deal. Wow.
Man, you guys are much better players than I am. There's already 59 gods in this game. I have enough on my hands just trying to counter just the god I'm going against and the individual skill of the actual player, let alone trying to juggle 10 more items that people want added to the game. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
I'm terrible.
For sure. Sounds good. All right. Let's see here. Guys, we're going to go to 8:45. Is that okay with you? Are you good? Which is
sure, brother.
Which is another, let's see.
What was that, about 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 20 minutes. We'll go about 20 minutes, guys. And then we're going to get some viewer games in for the last little while here. I know Mez in chat said he'd join us, so that'll be fun. We'll see. Anyone else want to hit me up? We'll get some games in. We'll definitely do some big custom games as well, so like people can just pile in and play. So let's go ahead. We'll bring in some more people here. We'll kind of hammer them out. So those of you guys that are in a raid call, limit it to one question if you don't mind, so we can get as many of you guys in as possible before the end of the night. Welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going? Hello.
Hey, hi guys.
Top of the morning to you. So what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you.
Okay.
Because I'm enjoying right now the stream, and I got only one question.
Okay.
What team do you think that is going to the regionals and going to top 2?
Oh, top 2 on each side? Okay, I like it. Yeah, esports question. FG3000's like, I hate my life. Well, great question. Thank you for asking it. I'm just going to go ahead and... there's a lot of background noise, so I'm gonna mute you. There we go. Okay, I muted you just because there's a lot of background noise. We'll bring you back in. So FG3000. So who is going to be top 2 for EU? We have Exposed Secrets, Mortality, Team Solo Mid, Cloud9, Aquila, and SK Gaming. Then for NA, we have Cognitive Red, Cognitive Gaming. So Cognitive Red, Cognitive Prime, Snipe, Team Dignitas, Fat Chunks, and the Rambozos.
No doubt. The cogs are too strong.
The Cog brothers. The Cog brothers.
And now it's like the tri-cogs, you know? Cog is so strong, man. I've been watching Root and Dignitas, and I've been watching them a long time. And now I kind of like, when I see Dig having to go against Cog, I'm like, please. I just feel like Cog just has everybody's number. Like they just play so well against just everybody. So undoubtedly Cog is, in my opinion, just one of the strongest teams. They're just so good.
So So on Hi-Rez's site right now, esports.hirezstudio or esports.smitegame.com, they actually still have Snipe listed. They need to update that to complexity. Those of you guys that
oh yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty awesome too. We should talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about it right now. So I'll put a link in chat, guys. Snipe, who has been around the scene for a very long time, had a variety of different players on their team, has finally, we all thought they would be picked up like months and months ago. Has finally been picked up by a competitive esports organization, Complexity Gaming. And I am so thrilled about this, to be honest with you. I was a big fan of Complexity back when I was very involved in the StarCraft 2 scene. I kind of did this whole thing that I do now in StarCraft 2, and super happy about this. I actually still talk with a few of the guys that used to play on Complexity from StarCraft 2, and so Complexity is joining the ranks. I thought Complexity had a falling out at one point, but they might have. But I think they had a falling out and then came back quite a bit. And there's a StarCraft 2 scene only. I don't recall. Either way, though, this is awesome. If you guys go ahead and actually look, Complexity has a team in League of Legends, a team in Dota 2. They already have the Smite team listed on there, a Hearthstone members, and StarCraft 2.
And of course, StarCraft.
Yeah. So here's a link to their rosters page if you guys want to check it out. Their site's actually pretty slick there. Oh, look, they got the players up now and everything. Oh man,
didn't waste any time.
I feel like I feel like these are all like prison pictures. If you guys go over the roster page for Smite, they're like all like prison pictures, and then you get down to Allied, and he's like, "What's up?
What up?
What up?" With that raised eye, like his eyebrows like raised. He's like, "How you doing? What you doing tonight, huh? What you doing?" Like that's what it looks like. And then you got like Jerby at the bottom. Actually, he's gonna like
totally different. Out of place.
But
this is awesome, dude. Having another major esports organization coming to Smite. They realize that Smite isn't going away. Smite is getting bigger and bigger. They want to get in before it gets too, out of control and large. And what better way than to pick up a team like Smite that is one of those teams that is just they tend to always be in the top runnings. Like they're always very, very high, and they seem to always have those games where they destroy someone that's like top seeded. Like Snipe is that team that just can just they're like when you're playing like a game like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, stick with me for a second, and you're fighting a big boss and they're like rock and they're just armored up, but they have one little weak spot. Like one little weak spot that you have to attack. Snipe is that team that can attack that little weak spot and just be like, oh yeah, I know we're 3rd seed, 4th seed. Yeah, but we're just going to destroy you because we're that good. So Snipe is
I mean, the guys that are on Snipe, I think it's very well deserved how that worked out for them. A long time coming, to say the least. I'm interested to find, I mean, I might find this out behind the scenes at some point, but like, I wonder if a lot of like Complexity or other organizations coming in, like, I wonder if their contracts are just up until the Smite World Championship and then they end, or because a lot of these guys have contracts for like a year or 6 months or whatever. I wonder if like something like the Complexity contract, we probably won't find this out, but just something I'm thinking is if it's only for Worlds and then after that it ends, in order to give Complexity some of that viewership and stuff like that. Because I mean, hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's like a year contract moving forward. But either way, I mean, this is super exciting to be able to see this, to say the least. So, anyways, back to his original.
For sure.
So back to his question. You had said for the NA side, Cognitive Red and Cognitive Gaming. I'm going to disagree. For NA, I believe Cognitive Red is still going to be in the top 2. But, they had one really good showing at the last LAN with them. and they've been very good throughout all of the SPL. I think they will do very well at regionals. But I don't know if Cognitive Gaming for Cognitive Prime will do it. They're not traditionally a super, super good LAN team.
LAN team, yeah.
And that's where it comes in. Because if you're looking at it, I look at that list, Team Dignitas is a very consistent, good LAN organization where they could go ahead and, if not get second, get first to go ahead if they can overcome what they have run up against in the past with Cognitive Red. So my guess, Cognitive Red and Team Dignitas.
Dig is definitely a wild card.
Yeah.
There's two people on Dig's team, Lasses and Zapman. When they're in front of a crowd, I feel like they get even better than they already are. They start doing some things that just they feed off of that, like the excitement and people cheering their name. And no offense to Cog Red or to even Smite, but at the last Worlds, it was clear that Dig was the biggest crowd favorite.
Okay,
and when you have all of that, it's like, okay, now I have to perform.
Yeah. If you look at the brackets right now, so Team Dignitas is going to face off against Fat Chunks. I think Team Dignitas will win that hands down. Moving on from there, they go up against Cognitive Red. So this isn't even the finals. So either way, one of them, though, is not moving on past that. So if it's Team Dignitas, that would be awesome to take out the giant of Cognitive Red. And I love you guys on Cognitive Red, but I have to cheer for Team Dignitas because I want to see Cognitive Red shut down. I want to see them shut down by Team Dignitas. And I think the boys over there, Null, Shing, Lassus, Dare to Care, and Zapman can do it. On the bottom side, though, you have Snipe versus the Rambozos, which I think is going to be very close. And then they go up against Cognitive Red. So I feel like the bottom part of the bracket for NA will be very close. Like, I feel like that's going to be up in the air, to say the least. I feel like Snipe or the Rambozos do have a chance to take out Cognitive Gaming, Cognitive Prime there at the bottom. So, talk about EU. EU, taking a look at who's going to EU here. EU, we do have Exposed Secrets, Mortality Esports, Team Solo Mid, Cloud9, Aquila, and SK Gaming. What are your thoughts, FG?
I gotta go for Cloud9, man. You know, I've been on the Cloud9 bandwagon ever since SunTouch, even though SunTouch left me. Potato boys. But I don't know, just something about Cloud9. I just love cheering for Cloud9.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stay on the Cloud9 bandwagon. They're gonna lose to Exposed Secrets, and then
okay.
And then of course Solo Mid's gonna. SK has been kind of a roller coaster for me.
Yep, that have been for everybody. I mean,
so I picked Team Solo Mid, and then Mortality and Solo Mid. That's going to be a close one. I know you're going to take Mortality on that one just because reasons.
What reasons are those? I don't understand.
Just reasons. Reasons.
So at the very top of the bracket, you have Cloud9 versus Aquila. I feel like Aquila is going to beat them, to be honest with you. I don't think Cloud9 is going to make it past the first round. I mean, love the guys on Cloud9, but I don't think they're going to make it past that. I think a really good game is going to be Exposed Secrets versus Aquila. It'll be a very close game. I can't wait for that. That's going to be so hype. Team Solo Mid versus SK Gaming. If we see the SK Gaming that we've seen at the TSM Invitational,
they're
going to rock. But if we see the SK Gaming that barely held on in the SPL, just barely made it through the wild cards, and that comes, I don't think they'll do so well. As for Team Solo Mid, I feel like they're hit or miss. Like, Team Solo Mid is all over the place.
But you're forgetting that LAN experience, the same thing you get to Dig.
I know.
Their LAN is the exact same team as last year.
Yeah, their LAN experience is definitely, they're starting to get up there when it comes down to that, so we'll have to see. So, for my top two, I have to go with Mortality Esports. I have a contractual obligation. No, I'm just kidding. And outside of that, I think it's going to be Mortality and Exposed Secrets. You know.
I got to go for TSM for the same reason you went for Dig. The LAN experience and then Game Hunter. Game Hunter is, you just never know, man. Never know. And Kivo Fred, probably one of the best. They're such a strong team, and the fact that they're, like I said, they're the same exact team minus one person as last year. They have the experience, dude. They've been together. They're like the San Antonio Spurs. They've been together forever.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of wild cards in the EU versus NA. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of huge question
EU
marks.
is fun.
Like Aquila, Team Solo Mid, and SK Gaming. Like, all three of those are, like, huge wild cards. Like, we have no clue what, like, Akila's going to do at the top of the bracket and then, like, the guys at the bottom of the bracket. So, good question. Thanks for calling in there. Do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and grab. That was such a long question. That was like how long was it? That was like a 10-minute question.
Yeah, that's a good. We have 10 minutes left. One more question and we're out.
All right. Nighthawk, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
What do you want to talk about today?
I was wondering, how do you think that they're going to balance people like Sylvanas to be even remotely matched up with someone like Nox?
You mean just? I guess I'm confused.
You want to see how Nox, how they can adjust Nox to be on par with the other mages like that?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know that they really can at this point. I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, put her damage through the roof to the point where she destroys everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I really think they have to change something, and like they literally have to change an ability. Like they actually have to change something. I think her 2 and 3 will stay. But her ultimate and her 1 will have to go through some dramatic changes. Just throwing damage on it is just not gonna work.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's definitely hit or miss. Yeah, there is no like great solution for Nox. I think we kind of talked about Nox completely earlier, and it's very much up in the air. Could go either direction. So we'll have to see what happens. I don't know, caller. What recommend? Nighthawk, what recommendations do you have for Nox that you would like to see?
Frankly, I think that she is pointless and that they just need to trash the build and restart.
Oh, I like it.
I'm not. I know that sounds really harsh the way you're saying it, but I'm not really against it because her abilities just don't really fit in the meta. And I feel if you, just like you said, redo her now before people really get attached to her, I think that might even be a good move. Like, it kind of, at a PR standpoint, it might look bad that we're going to take this guy that we just released last week and redo her. But I think maybe you do it now before people really get attached to her.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Any other questions you got for us, Nighthawk?
No, that's it.
Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. Siren, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going, Siren?
It's going good. Hey,
Good.
glad to be here.
So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I've been playing Smite for about 5 months.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, and I always hear about the Great Warrior nerf all the time. And I'm like,
it's like the Great War that occurred.
Yeah, like this massive event that happened,
Back in
and
my
then all
day.
the warriors disappeared. And I was wondering what exactly happened that all these warriors could all of a sudden just fall out of relevance.
Sure. So, FG, you want to summarize it or do you want me to?
I'll let you summarize it, but I want to say that since you weren't around, this was the funniest stream on Smite game that I've seen in a long time. Because Bart came on the stream while he was nerfing all the warriors with a cup that said Warrior Tears. Or was it was Warrior Tears, right? And he was just drinking it the entire time. It was the funniest stream ever. All the Warriors were crying, but I thought it was hilarious. But go ahead. Tell us about the time, old man Octane.
At that time, it wasn't even that long ago. At that time, it was the Guardians had fallen out. So like then, Ymir's, Ares, Athena's, Gebs, whoever. Where like you wouldn't see them very often in game because you could go ahead and select a warrior and a warrior could stand up to the damage that people were putting out just like a guardian would at this point, but then do the damage that we see warriors doing. So you would see your Odins, you would see Sun Wukongs. Like Sun Wukong was like the #1 dual lane god that you would see because he was amazing in regards to you could try to do damage to him and it was almost impossible because he could just go ahead and pop out of that, fly away with 72 transformations. But then he could turn around and hit you with your cudgel and you'd be like, oh my god, that's like half my health.
Yep.
So that it was a time where I like to call it like, it was the age of the warrior. Like you didn't see guardians at that point or anything. Warriors were super good. You would see warriors a lot in jungle and you'd also see warriors a lot in your dual lane.
Solo lane.
Yeah.
Dual lane.
And then,
everywhere.
same thing. So they'd be all over the place. Like warriors would be everywhere and it would just kind of be like, like what it was kind of that point where like Mercury could play like a little bit of everything and do very well with it. It was that same type of feeling. And so that was kind of the age of the Warrior, and the giant nerf was the fact that they went ahead and said, okay, we're done with this. The age of the Guardian is now back again. Guardians are viable in the dual lane. Warriors are now going to do very well, and we see a lot of Warriors in like the jungler role. You know, we see Warriors playing that role now. You know, Nemesis, Osiris, stuff like that. But at the same time, like, they're not being able to take a ton of damage, like what you would see, you know, with like your supports and stuff like that. So hopefully that summarizes it up a little bit for you.
Yeah, all right, that's great.
Yeah,
it was insane. Like literally, they built.
I love playing Sun Wukong. It's kind of too bad. I mean, his kit is so fun, but he doesn't do much damage.
You would have liked him a lot back then, because he would build. Basically, they would build Warrior Tabby. They'd get sovereignty, and then they would just build damage. They were like one tank item, and they would build damage, and they would just destroy people and not be killed.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It was. It was definitely. Well, Saren, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
So, side note, completely unsmite related. That guy Nick, or whatever, he walked between the two skyscrapers on that wire. Did you hear about that? He just finished.
No.
He just finished it. This guy walked between two giant skyscrapers.
That is insane.
On a wire, with like the balance beam or the balance pole or whatever. He walked across them. It's like this huge thing going on right now, between two giant towers. It took him like 7 minutes to walk across them. Side note,
that guy is a beast.
It was being streamed. It was being streamed live. There's like thousands of people there watching him because he's like super high up in the air. Anyways, back on subject here. Let's go ahead and we got 2 more calls here. Welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
It's going good. My question, I'm just gonna get over with because I know you pressed on time. Is I'm mainly moving around on roles from ADC to mid to solo lane, and I'm just trying to get better at solo lane. What are some tips that you can give me?
Sure. FG, you want to take this one?
Hey. Solo lane is so much fun. So the number one thing on solo lane, in my opinion, is set the tone, set the aggression. Because a lot of people go over there and they just slap box. They don't get any kills and they just sit there and farm. You need to play aggressive. You need to take every hit you possibly can on the enemy, and you need to maximize every little tower damage you can do. Every time you can hit their tower, every time you can hit them, you do it. Like you don't do jump parties. You don't play around. You hit them as often as possible. Mm-hmm. And the real key is to make sure that you go back at the right time. I think that's kind of the number one pitfall of solo laners. You need to make sure that once your enemy goes back, you shoot in one more wave and then you go back. You don't want to lose any farm in the solo lane as much as you can. You definitely don't want to lose an entire wave while you go back and buy items. And of course, buy wards. Depending on what guys you're playing over there in the solo lane, you need to have that blue buff up the top and then your own blue buff. You need to have both of those things warded, because not only does it help you, it also lets it lets your teammates know, oh, the jungler is over there in the right camp on this side of the map. I'm in the long lane. I can play a little bit more aggressive now that I know that they're over there. Mm-hmm. And that's that's one thing that just annoys me so much, is that the wards aren't just about you. It's about your team. So you're putting, like I said, your middle lane can be more safe knowing that the jungler is far away, or long lane can be more safe knowing it's far away, or your jungler can be like, oh, okay, they're getting blue buff. Come with me. We're going to gank them and destroy them. So ward your side. Don't sit there and slapbox. Be aggressive. Come out. Set the tone. And don't go in front of your buff at level 1. Go behind.
I love someone in chat.
Really bad.
I love someone in chat goes, "You have a team. Get out of your island."
I love my island. Oh yeah, my number one tip. My number one tip. 10-minute tower. That needs to be your MO. 10-minute tower. Get your tower down in 10 minutes or less, and start rotating to the mid.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing you can do as a solo lane, is get your tower down, and then you're another jungler. Then you're a beast to be reckoned with. There's no such thing as solo island anymore unless you make it that.
The big thing is too, like in solo, like you'll notice that sometimes you actually are the highest level on your team, and the reason is you need to play solo smart. You need to stay alive. You need to be in lane very long. That's why a lot of the gods have high survivability and high sustain in solo lane, so they can stay in that lane, get the most XP, get the most gold, so that later on in the game they can do super well. So something to keep in mind when you are in solo. Just as FG had said, stay in lane as long as you can. rely on your teammates to get the ganks necessary, like your jungler gank into your lane. But don't, kind of what FG said, but don't depend on your teammates to make the plays. You're by yourself. Do what you got to do, but do rotate, because if not, the worst thing in the world is to play a game and you're like 17 minutes in and your solo laner hasn't journeyed outside of his lane. It's like, oh my word, like there's team fights going on. Like, come on now. So hopefully,
yeah, you make a huge point. You're usually the highest level, so it makes it a really big boon to your team to leave your lane to go help. But you can't leave your lane if you're not doing work in your lane. Like, you just can't leave it. So the better you're over there, the more you're pushed up, the more you're just killing people, you'll do really well. If you really want to excel at solo lane, Nija all day. Trust me. You can't counterpick Nija solo. Ask me. Try it. I'll be in queue right after this.
Oh man. All right, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for answering.
All right, we got one more caller here. Dom, welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. What do you want to talk about today?
Okay, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible.
That's okay. Take your time. It's good. What do you got?
How would you guys feel about a dual kit system?
Explain.
Okay, I've been thinking about Tier when I have thought about this. You know how he's got his battle stance and his defensive stance?
Correct, yep.
How would you feel if they took those two stances and split them up and put them into two different kits?
Interesting.
Wait, what would you do with Tier?
One that would be more of a just straight damage build or kit, and then one that would be more supportive for your teammates.
Okay, so interesting. That's interesting.
And I'm not just saying with Tier. I feel that it could be. I feel it could be. It'd make warriors more viable. Like, people would want to play them because there's more of a tanky kit for that warrior. And then they could do the same thing with guardians. Make them a damage build or a damage kit.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Kind of almost like World of Warcraft style.
Yes.
Like I can spec in the DPS or I can kind of spec in the tanking type of thing.
Yeah. Like in the beginning of the match lobby, you would pick, like they could have a little drop down menu, kit 1 or kit 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that just opens the door up to thousands of abilities across Smite, and I'm not sure if they want to go that route.
I think it'd
or if they do like a rune system like League of Legends, and then I don't know if people will be happy about that. So I'm not sure how it would actually fit into Smite currently.
I'm going to say it sounds great, but I don't want it in Smite. Plain and simple. I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I don't know that it would fit Smite very well. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's a good thought, and I appreciate you asking it, but I just don't know that it would work. Like, I don't want my Guardian to be able to do damage like hardcore. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Dom. I appreciate it. It was a good question.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, folks. We're going to go ahead and close out the show.
Nice show, Octane. Good job.
I try. We're going to close out the show, guys, and then we'll have time for maybe a viewer game here or there. We have about an hour and 10 minutes left. I will be playing games between now and then. FG may grace us with his presence, for a game. We'll have to see. And, maybe. Alrighty. I want to let you guys know that this is available on iTunes. So please go out to iTunes, check out, and look for SmiteTalk. Please leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it if you did. You can listen to our show, just the audio versions on iTunes. You can listen to it on the way to work, when you're at the gym, when you need something to do, when you're cutting the grass. To get your Smite fix in. So go ahead and check it out. Go on iTunes. Also, you can use on, like, if you're an Android user and you have, I think it's Slacker, is it? Yeah, Slacker. Just look up SmiteTalk. It's on there as well. And, before we get out of here, FG3000, where can people check you out?
Happy birthday, Buddha. Yeah. You can check me out on youtube.com/fitnessgamer3000. I did that for Buddha. He told you to do it too, but you didn't do it. So I guess I'm a better friend than you are. youtube.com/fitnessgamer3000. Check me out all day, every day.
All right. Your voice is better than mine to do that, so it's all good. You got the whole, like, Barry White voice going on, so it's all good. Outside of that, you guys can also check me out. Let's see. YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Octane Pro, SCII. go ahead and put it in chat for you fine folks. It'll also be in the comments as well. So please go check that out. Also, special thanks to Hi-Rez Studios for allowing us to host Smite Talk on their Twitch channel, Smite Game, every week at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Sundays. This week was a little different because of the tournament going on. It's been that way for the past few weeks. It's been like Smite Talk, Smite Update, back and forth, back and forth. It all comes down to timing, guys. The shows are completely flexible, completely around the events that are going on Sundays. Also, if you guys enjoyed the show, you guys like Smite Talk, go directly below the video stream. There is a streamer feedback button. Click it. Select Octane Pro and give your feedback on Smite Talk. That goes directly to Hi-Rez Studios and lets them know, hey, Smite Talk's a great show. The community likes it. Let's keep doing it. Or it tells them, this isn't really doing it. We're going to go ahead and take it off. So please, guys, give us feedback directly below this video stream, streamer feedback button. Do appreciate it. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and take this stream off the air for just about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm going to set up OBS as I use that for streaming. Right now I'm using XSplit, and we will be back here for some viewer games to go ahead and round out the last hour of the stream. We'll see you guys back here in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Later.